I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You are not put here to be a white man's footstool. You are put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Monday, July 7th, 2025. Ben Jamon just dropped a bombshell. He just walked out. He dropped a bombshell and then walked out. Damn, Ben. I sure wish I could talk about that. You know what's happening? The whole, I'm noticing something, and it's not just the fights at Summerfest. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about these damn wildebeests that's running wild. We're gonna talk about them. The whole world has gone nuts. It has. There's no order. There's no structure, and let me tell you why. I got some theories I'm gonna share with you all. This might even be considered a rabbit hole type of a conversation because I got some theories because everybody is insane. There's no order, there's no structure, there's no discipline, none of that. There's no standards. People are just doing whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. And let me tell you, one of the people that I blame for this, I blame Trump. I'm going to take away the fact that he's a Republican and he supports a political party that I don't, that there are policies that come out of the Republican Party that are demonstrated and illustrated are harmful to lower income people, to middle income people, to people of color, because we have different policy priorities than everybody else, because our interaction with America, our interaction with democracy and the banking system and the education system and the political system is different. We need unique policies. The Democrats speak to those policies better. No, they're not perfect, but at least they can pronounce the policies where Republicans try to harm them, you see. The President of the United States is supposed to be a representation that we all can be proud of. We have our political disagreements. That's why we have intelligent debate. The Democrats have their idea. The Republicans have their idea. They meet in committee. They hash it out. They compromise. Then we get legislation that we hope is palatable to most people in this country. No piece of legislation is going to be perfect, but compromise is necessary. Now, you don't have to compromise with anything. If you're a Republican, you have to rig and fix things and get big money donors so that you have a Republican-controlled House of Representatives and a Republican-controlled U.S. Senate and a conservative Supreme Court, meaning the rules do not apply to you anymore. You can do whatever you want. You have people right now in this country that felt, I don't know, maybe they feel some kind of relief, or they feel seen, or they feel vindicated that you got a man with 34 felonies who's leading the free world. It actually helped him politically, quite honestly. Do you guys remember when Trump was booked at the Fulton County Jail? This must have been maybe May, June of last year. It made huge news. We've probably forgotten about it because all of the things that have transpired since then. When Trump was booked at the Fulton County Jail, they took him in through the back. He had a whole presidential motorcade going to get booked. I'll never forget it. And the streets were lined with who? Cheering black folks. Because some kind of way, a segment of us as black people related to Donald Trump getting booked. If that's not a weird Stockholm syndrome that we have become so familiar with the criminal justice system, when we see a person in power that is also in the criminal justice system, that person seems relatable to us, even though Trump is not relatable to us. And now that the big, beautiful bill was signed into law, and let me tell you what's crazy about that. He told everybody when he was going to sign that bill into law. And because of the damage that it does, so I'm not kidding, you're probably like 325 or 330 million people are going to be in some kind of way, either short-term or long-term, harmed by this bill. I'm thinking to myself, well, there's absolutely no way that this bill is going to pass. Eventually, something will pass, but it won't be on July 4th because there's not even enough time to discuss and to debate and to hash out some of the funding restrictions and funding deletes and program elimination, like major fundamental changes that have taken place over the last 3 presidential administrations are evaporated in this bill. And I'm thinking logically because typically politics moves really slow. That's why people don't follow it. It's boring. It takes forever. There's a lot of debate. There's a lot of committees. There's a lot of hearings. And then they have a bill, and then the bill has markup. And then after it's marked up, it's voted on. And then there's all these amendments, blah, 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 blah. So I'm thinking, as complicated as this bill is, because it reworks American society, it reworks it. If you're poor, screw you. Screw you, poor people. Basically, what Republicans have been saying through their legislation, like covertly all these years, they just put it all in this bill. And because it changes so much, I was like, well, there's no way it's going to get passed on July 4th. Not only was it passed prior to July 4th, Donald Trump said the day in which he was going to sign it, and he did. He is a man of lawlessness and low moral character, and it's filtering down everywhere. And I know a lot of people think there's a whole bunch of distance between, what we may see right here in little old Milwaukee, what's happening to our social fabric here in this city, and seeing the things that we're seeing, much to our chagrin, whenever we have public events, seeing all the fights and all the other stuff. We think that there's this huge disconnect between that kind of lawlessness and unruly and disrespectful behavior. When I say it's unruly and disrespectful behavior, if we're all out in public, you got to be on your best behavior. And here's what's crazy. Some of what we are seeing, the fights, the shooting, is people's best behavior. Ain't that wild? And there's no incentive to walk the straight and narrow. There's none, because you can be a criminal and get elected president. And so I think that there's this, like a free-for-all kind of mentality. And maybe I'm getting old. I love it, though, because I can see clear. Because I know the people, that I grew up with that they lived life like it was a free-for-all too. They had no order. They had no structure. They had no discipline. They didn't set goals and achieve them. They're all dead or in jail. Dead in jail or have lives that we wouldn't wish on our worst enemy. So I know how this thing ends, and the fact that we are just swimming in it right now is so disappointing. Like this, there's no standard and there's no structure. And if so, like, what is it? It's not the church. I don't know where it is. Kids aren't playing team sports anymore, so they don't know how to get along with one another and how to sacrifice their individual egos for a team goal. That don't exist no more. You can't even tell people that they can't make up genders. Because here's what I'm starting to see, and I'm going to try and develop this conversation today. And I'm going to get a little help. I got a guest coming in today. Actually, two. Guess who I got coming? I didn't tell you, did I, Rick? I ain't tell nobody. I got a guest coming in at 10 o'clock. You know I'm very specific with my guests now because you can't just have anybody show up here at the market hall because now we got snipers on the roof, so we have security that's more strict now, apparently. We'll be joined by Dr. Ken Harris at 10 o'clock. Why you make that face, Rick? Just because you make the face don't mean that I'm not going to describe it on the air. I want to hear from Dr. Ken. I ain't talked to Dr. Ken in a minute. We may see each other in passing. I ain't talked to Dr. Ken. I'm going to talk to him. But here's the difference when I talk to Dr. Ken. He going to be on that side of the table. I'm going to be on this side. But so we just going to talk to him. We're going to see what's going on with Doc. That's all we're going to do. We're going to say hi to him. That's it. You know, it's going to be fine. I'm going to see what's on his mind, what he's thinking about stuff. You know what, Sherwin? I don't believe what's going on. Here's my top 5. No, he better not do no top 5. Here's what it is. And I want us to have a community discussion about this. The long-term impacts and consequences of the internet is not just spikes of dopamine, which depletes our dopamine stores, means people have to do more ridiculous and outrageous things to get this level of adrenaline, and everything is getting more extreme. At the same time, it's an instant gratification society. If you want something, go on Amazon and buy it. If you want to reach out to somebody, you have access to them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even though that's not real, you do not have access to people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you think that you do, you're living in an alternative universe. You do not. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Just because you can call the person doesn't mean that you should. Now, somebody got to stand for some damn order around here. We're all going to go nuts. But here's the thing. Discipline is oppression. If you tell somebody that they can't do something, if you tell somebody, no, there's not 47 different genders, that's oppression. If you tell somebody no, or if you're honest with somebody, but here's the thing about your honesty. If it hurts somebody's feelings, then it's oppression. Discipline in and of itself is oppression. Denying somebody their impulse is oppression. They feel oppressed by that. And this is the society that we are getting. When discipline in and of itself is oppressive, there's no discipline anymore. I want to develop this. And I got some things I want to share with you about the 4 or 5 different things that we need to have a safe city. Like I'm over here rethinking my whole set of summertime activities because things are getting worse. I used to look forward to the summertime because you could do stuff in the warm weather and you can go places. Now you got to wear a vest now, bulletproof vest, to go anywhere, to go to the candy shop. I don't think they have candy shops anymore. Well, now the candy shops sell blunt wrappers. So we're going to talk about it. Like just the standard bearer of American decency is a criminal. And I think that subconsciously Americans believe that they can just do whatever they want, whenever they want. And here's the thing. Y'all can have that world. I don't want no parts of just a damn free-for-all because, you know, this is something that we were warned about many years ago, and I don't think it will come to fruition. It's damn near anarchy. It is. Like on a smaller level, but when discipline is oppression, then you have a society that just completely and totally starts to unravel, and we're just sitting here watching it pretending like there's nothing we can do about it. Oh, yes, there is. We're going to talk about it today. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, are you looking for a fun opportunity to showcase your clothing line, restaurant, nonprofit organization, food truck, or small business? Well, look no further than doing it at our Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School. We are currently accepting vendor applications for our festival, and you don't want to miss out on this great opportunity to promote your business and be part of all the fun. To be a vendor at Truth Family Fest, visit truthfamilyfest.com and sign up today.
Why did Old National Bank decide to create this program?
You know, it was something that was near and dear to the heart of our chairman and CEO, Jim Bryant. Jim wanted us to do more in the African-American communities, more with minority-owned businesses. So he approached Roland Shelton, who was my boss in Evansville, Indiana, and said, Roland, we need to do more. We need to create a program that's going to allow individuals, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses to access capital a lot better than traditionally we've been doing. And so we created the Empowerment Loan Program 2 years ago.
And for those that are now leaning more into this conversation, what's the best way to get in contact with you as part of their interest in the Empowerment Loan Program?
I'm going to give you my cell phone number to the listeners. It's 414-687-7393. And if that doesn't work, feel free to reach me at my email, tracy.meeks@oldnational.com.
Tracy Meeks, Senior Vice President, Community Lending Market Executive from Old National Bank.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I want to read something to you guys that I found really fascinating. And I think it's relatable because people will talk about how things used to be. When we wax nostalgic about better days and easier days and simpler times, when it seemed that community was much stronger and much more tight-knit. I think there are social reasons for that, and there's political reasons for it too, because black people had I shouldn't say so few. We had less opportunities. Our opportunities came with time and with the evolution of a society in which it took America a really long time to introduce us into the status quo. It took a long time. Even after the ending of slavery, it still was another century of Jim Crow. So America really resisted. But of course, over time, we became much more integrated and integral into American society. But it's really hard for me, that was born after all of the most monumental civil rights legislation was not just passed, but enacted. And my parents were able to take advantage of it by moving to Brown Deer when they did and putting me in the Brown Deer school system. 20 years prior to that, it would have been illegal. It would not have happened. They wouldn't have sold my parents that house. And they could stand on the law. Oh, you're black? No, get out of here, N-words. You can't live out here. So it's hard for me to imagine a time when even in the city of Milwaukee, and old timers will tell you this, like you couldn't go past Capitol Drive. You couldn't go out past Silver Spring. Like you couldn't. And that makes no sense to me. What do you mean you couldn't? Oh, the police pull you over to tell you to turn around or worse. So when you have so little and your rights and your freedoms are few and far between, you have so much more in common with all other black people. So if you are a poor black person, a middle-class black person, or a well-to-do and wealthy black person, this is the other thing about Milwaukee. We still to this day, and here's one of the extensions of segregation that I always find so fascinating. We are one of the only communities where people that make better than $150,000 a year live in the same neighborhoods or general geography as people that make minimum wage. Still, Milwaukee, New York Times did an article about that. This is probably I think it might have been the tail end of the Obama years. And they were looking at just like how people move and scatter when their incomes rise. But Milwaukee has yet another dubious distinction. Like, our neighborhoods are still black, but economically diverse, which is odd. Because usually, now there's more and more people, obviously. They're not moving necessarily to the suburbs or to different counties. Black folks that have money are leaving Wisconsin altogether. But the ones that stay here in higher percentages than any other cities live in neighborhoods with rich people. I shouldn't say rich. Economically well-off people and poor people live in the same neighborhoods when it comes to African Americans. It's interesting, fascinating stuff. But if you go back prior to America's general acceptance of black people being integrated and an integral part of our society, black folks had everything in common. We were still fighting. We were still trying to get fairness, still trying to get equality. So it did not matter what your level of education was. It didn't matter what your income was. If you were black, you had less rights. That is what formed our community. The fact that we had to be in the same geographic area, in the same neighborhood, because we could not go anywhere else. And there also was order. There was discipline. In fact, the discipline, and people will tell you, oh, my parents used to kick my ass and whoop my ass if I did this, that, and the other. And there was this real strict, almost like oppressive kind of discipline that black children of previous generations received. And there is a flawed way of thinking that way, how some in older generations were very harshly disciplined. Let's be clear, it was child abuse. What black children endured in the, quote, form of discipline, literally child abuse, right? And so there's some folks that think, well, a long time ago, our parents kicked our asses. You know, they whooped us with, what did y'all get hit with? Belts, coat hangers, extension cords. That's really the genesis of violence when you think about it. But you can't do that stuff now. But there's a mode of thinking that believes that we need to do two things. Bring back all the old stuff. Oh, we need to have more basketball courts. We need to have more roller skating rinks. Old folks always think that whatever they had for social activities will work for kids today. It's part of the problem why the kids are doing whatever the hell they're doing. That's why they're stealing cars. We over here trying to build a roller skating rink. Yeah, see? The kids will like to roller skate. They want to go around in a circle for many hours and listen to disco music, see? Yeah, that's what we need. And we build a bunch of roller skating rinks and then it gets shot up. That ain't funny. It's not. And they also believe the second thing is, well, these kids are not getting disciplined harshly. Yeah, they are. In fact, I'm going to talk about the fights at Summerfest. Summerfest is going to look different next year. Watch. You watch. If Summerfest can hurt itself by going to 3 separate weekends instead of the 11-day run that it used to have, that festival has the ultimate flexibility of how it wants to change, because now they're dealing with some PR stuff. And I'll be honest with y'all, I'm glad Summerfest is over. I didn't go not one time. I didn't go. Because you know what Summerfest does? It makes traveling through the Third Ward more difficult. I can't get access to my favorite little restaurants, a whole bunch of stuff that I can't do because the music festival is here. And that's on the weekends is when I would do some of those things. And Summerfest just messes up the Third Ward. You got a bunch of touristy people doing weird stuff, peeing all over the place. Yuck, I don't like it. I'm glad it's over. It's going to look different next year. So the other, I guess, misconception is, oh, these kids are not being disciplined. Yeah, they are. You know, these kids are getting punched in the face by their parents, but here's the difference between them, the children nowadays, and a generation or 2 or 3 or 4 ago. These kids are hitting their parents back. We don't like to talk about that. And a lot of times the parents are backing down because even the attempts at discipline, and these are all undisciplined and unloved kids, or they're being shown love in a toxic, non-productive way. That's why they're acting the way they're acting and ruining everything, because a child that's not loved is going to make sure that you know that they're not loved, because they're going to make you hate them. A lot of the fighting that they see is because these kids grew up like getting their asses kicked, and these kids are fighting their parents. And if they're fighting their parents, you think they care about the police? If they'll punch their grandmama in the face, you think they won't shoot at the police? Of course they will. Women taught their children how to navigate the physical demands of labor that was required of some African Americans generations ago, including specific tasks relating to agriculture, domestic work, and the trades. Mothers also taught their children how to recognize and avoid danger, such as unpredictable behavior from whites and the risks associated with going certain places. In days of old, African American women shared stories, songs, and Bible proverbs. Mothers cultivated a sense of self-worth and resistance in their children. They used animal trickster tales to emphasize the power of wit and cunning in overcoming adversity. Does all this kind of sound familiar? This is back when we had more community. Black mothers also warned against speaking too freely to whites and encouraged children to be seen and not heard. My God, do I remember that one. Black families also passed down cultural traditions, including spiritual beliefs and storytelling, which provided that sense of community, identity, and hope in the face of oppression. They often relied on each other, creating supportive networks for raising children in communal settings and enduring hardship. So those things that I read sounds like old school kind of discipline, like Big Mama kind of discipline. You know what I'm reading from? How black mothers trained their children to be slaves. Isn't that crazy? But when I read it and I take out the word enslaved, because all I did when I read those things is took out the word enslaved. It sounded like, oh yeah, I remember that. The punishment that black children received masked and disguised as discipline. Yes, it did create more order. Yes, we did have much more community, because the further back you go, the closer we were to slavery. So a lot of the discipline that was enacted on black children that kept us essentially docile in a majority white society extended from our mothers training us to be slaves. We got to a point in slavery, especially toward the early part and the middle part of the 19th century. So as slavery is about to make its way out, slave masters had trained so many hundreds of years of black people that black mothers trained their own children to be subservient in a white society. Even after slavery ended, you still had 100 years of Jim Crow where you still had to operate in the oppressive rules of white society. And what did it do? It kept black children disciplined, because if you said something wrong, or if you stepped out of line, or if you were back talking a white person, they would kill you. And I think that filtered down through slavery, when our mothers were the ones charged with making sure that we would be good, obedient slaves. Now, what happened is we have evolved tremendously as a society. So now any kind of discipline is oppression, in any kind, even if it's coming from the right place. So when you have a bunch of people in a whole American society, it seems, where discipline is oppressive, and even it can be in different races, it can be different income levels. Even white kids, their mother will tell them, Johnny, don't do that. That's not appropriate. That's not correct behavior. Screw you, Mom. I'm taking your freaking car, and give me your wallet. Well, now they don't take their mama's wallets anymore. Mom, give me your Venmo. Venmo me $94. And if that mother tries to discipline her children, it's seen as oppressive by the kids, because now kids have rights, apparently. And also, you hit your kid now, you put a little welt on their leg, they go to school. School social worker is coming with an army of people. An army of people, and then mothers will end up losing their children. So this is where we are, ladies and gentlemen, in an undisciplined world, because discipline is oppression. And when you have undisciplined people, you get what? Bad customer service, crappy service at restaurants, just the overall level of service, because of all of these undisciplined people. Like, you know how many times, Like, I've gotten into arguments with people at fast food restaurants because they don't have something and they're mad at me because I'm ordering something they're out of. Go to Popeyes. Hi, can I get a 4-piece? No! Oh, what can I get? The hell out of here. We don't got no chicken. And I know that you guys know what I'm talking about. Just the whole world is just devolving because discipline is oppression. You're listening to a show that's very disciplined. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks. And enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Join Outreach on Thursday, July 31st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to learn how prenatal care, routine well child visits, and habits that empower parents for healthy pregnancy. Call 414-727-6320 to register today.
Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all.
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 Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
You know, in life, our journey is not meant to be walked alone. As much as self-reliance and independence are celebrated, we need an inner circle, a group of trusted friends who uplift, challenge, and remind us of our purpose. Your inner circle is more than just companionship. It's your compass. These are the people who see your potential when self-doubt clouds your vision, who tell you the truth even when it's uncomfortable, and who stand beside you when the weight of the world feels unbearable. You know, the value of an inner circle is not just in the emotional support, but in accountability. They hold us to our highest standards, ensuring we don't settle for mediocrity. It's through this circle that we refine our thoughts, grow in character and courage to face life's battles. Today is no exception. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, energize you, and believe in your dreams as much as you do. They will then shape your growth, strengthen your resilience, and celebrate your victories. You know, James Baldwin once said, "The place in which I will fit will not exist until I make it." Your inner circle is part of that place, a foundation for your growth, your success, and most importantly, belonging.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The article in the Journal Sentinel kind of downplays it. So I was texting with some people. Last night at Summerfest was Saturday, right? Yeah, it doesn't go until Sunday anymore. So I was texting with some people that were down there, and they're like, "Uh-oh, Sherwin," because they know how I feel about Summerfest. Also, I'm not a real big fan of open air music venues. I like to go see shows indoors because the sound is better, the acoustics are better. It's usually much more comfortable. Because I only go to shows where I'm really huge fans of the artists and I want to get the best experience possible. And music is communal. You know, that's one of the reasons why I like going to shows. but I want to get the best possible experience, and just going to a random free stage at Summerfest is just not it for me, so I don't go. But then there's a whole bunch of other reasons why I don't go either. So there's folks texting me, Sherwin, it's a fight at the Generac stage. Oh, Sherwin, it's 4 fights at T Grizzly. I don't even know what a T Grizzly is. Rick, is a T Grizzly a local one? One of those local rappers that booty dance to the little fast beat, the Milwaukee?
No. No. Good morning, Sherwin.
Hi, Rick.
T Grizzly is a rapper from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, he's from Detroit.
He has that song First Day Out.
First Day Out?
Yeah, he got out of prison and came up with a song called First Day Out that blew up and is like international.
Oh, well, good for him. I guess
that was like years ago though. He you heard the song before if I was to say it or sing it.
You know what? Don't be surprised if I haven't.
You heard it.
Music is algorithmic. So because of what I search and look for and look up, and even the songs that I hear that I Shazam, I only get music that's in a real narrow genre. So new stuff, I don't really get a lot.
I know what you listen to already.
I don't even know where people get. I listen to some everything. So I went to one of my favorite spots. I can't even tell y'all where it is because y'all end up showing up there.
You know who? Not to cut you up, but you know T-Lo came to one of my DJ gigs this weekend.
Tory Lowe did.
Yeah.
Oh, powerful.
He was celebrating his Tory Lowe Day.
Oh, congratulations to Tory Lowe. That's right. He's got a day, and it was his birthday too. I think he also was a hot dog eating contest, wasn't he? Eating hot dogs. Ben Jamon was in it too, apparently. Yeah, exactly. I'm not bragging about. You know what's crazy is I don't think there was any women in the hot dog eating contest. None. So that should tell you everything that you need to know. Just a bunch of fellas.
Just a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah, let's just see how many of these we can eat.
Taken to the throat.
Mm-hmm. Swallowing them whole. I don't even need to chew. No teeth involved. Just swallowing hot dogs. But that's fine. Do what you want to do. I'm not begrudging nobody. Because that's the thing. You can't tell anybody anything nowadays. If you tell somebody something that might hurt their feelings, or if it's honest, it's insane. Like if I got a set of boundaries, don't cross them. And they're mine, right? Yours can be different. And and most people's boundaries are eroded because we're used to now a 24/7 world where anything and everything is whenever you want it. Like if you have a thought at a random moment, you ain't got to communicate it to the world, but you can. You can put it on Twitter, or I'm sorry, it's called X now. You can put it on Facebook, or if you have an idea, you have no concept of what is reasonable time and place. Do you remember the saying, there's a time and a place for everything? That has gone away, and now every time is the time and every place is the place. If you saw somebody whose ass you want to kick, back in the day, depending upon where you were, like, I don't know, church, you wouldn't kick their ass right there at church because you would tell yourself, and you lived by the motto, there is a time and a place for everything. And I liken those fools that no longer subscribe to there's a time and a place for everything to the people that also have no boundaries. Because the moment they think of something, oh, boom, I got to tell everybody this right now. They don't even leave room for their mind to change. Or, you know what? Maybe this can wait till morning. Maybe I should sleep on it before I send this stupid ass email or whatever the hell it is. It's wild. And I don't have to live in that world because everybody else has eroded their boundaries. I don't have to live in that world because I know this much, and I've learned this really since I've turned 50. Like, I'm a different person, and I like this version of Sherwin better because Sherwin gives like very few Fs. My Fs were beginning to fade in my 30s, and in my 40s, I was just kind of hanging on to a few of them. Now, none. I'm going to tell you how I feel, and if you don't like it, and I'm going to be respectful, right? But even being respectful to people, when I say, hey, like, don't do this. Don't come at me like this. I don't appreciate that. I'm not the one, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, but I can disrespect everybody else, but I can't disrespect you. No, you can't. Oh, but why? That's not fair. Everybody I know, I get to disrespect them. Call them at 4 o'clock in the morning and ask them how they're feeling. You don't want me to do that? No, you're mean. All right, let me see what else we got here. Oh, here we go. Multiple fights broke out July 5th near the Generac stage at Summerfest. That's the headline. Multiple fights broke out at Summerfest on Saturday, July 5th near the Generac stage where T Grizzly was headlining. 2 fights were caught on video and uploaded to Facebook, the first being earlier in the evening in front of the Summerfest store. That one showed multiple fights ensuing at the same time. A large crowd stood around the first fights, and the Summerfest security guards intervened when fighting started. And there was another article, I think that was on WISN. It said that the Summerfest security did not immediately intervene. The second fight later in the evening on the festival's final night showed more than 5 individuals punching and pushing each other while people stood in a circle around the fight. Here we go. Security guards did not intervene immediately, it said. Milwaukee World Festival Inc. said in a statement that they're aware of what they're going to call isolated altercations on July 5th. If this is just me kind of thinking out loud here, if you've had issues with discipline and with fights pretty much every night of the festival, stop calling these isolated altercations. They are predictable incidents. Now, I'm not blaming the festival. I'm not. But I'm going to blame the people as to why the festival is going to have to implement some changes. And here's what's, I think, painful for all of us. So Summerfest does bring in tourists. It could be other people from Milwaukee, from other parts of Milwaukee County, from other counties. And when they come here, they spend money. And we want people to spend money in Milwaukee because technically that means more revenue for us to invest in things, infrastructure, education, blah, 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 blah. But if the rules that have to be implemented and whatever changes they're going to make, because I know they're working on it right now. They're already probably looking forward to, planning their 2026 Summerfest events, because they essentially start right when one Summerfest ends. They start planning for the next year. They have to think about what changes they're going to make so that people going to Summerfest and having a good time is not disrupted by fools. And it's really, really hard to do. But they're going to do something. It's going to look different. There's going to be different security protocols. I don't know what it's going to look like. That's not for me to decide. That's for them. But it's going to hurt business because it's going to limit some people that otherwise would go and spend money and have a good time. Just the implementation of new rules, and businesses have to know this. If you want to make sure that your crowd that still wants to go to your events is safe, the security measures that we put in place oftentimes go overboard in hopes that we can catch some of the bad actors. But when those security protocols go overboard, then it becomes oppressive to decent people that don't fight, right? 24 years ago, a dude, remember the shoe bomber? He got on the airplane and put a bunch of firecrackers in his shoe, because there was a shoe bomber and there was an underwear bomber too. Underwear bomber is an idiot because all his drawers caught on fire in the plane. He was just sitting there with hot drawers on, so he tried to blow a plane up with an underwear bomb. That's a dumb place to put a bomb, ain't it? In your drawers? That's by all your important parts. But whatever. But we still got to take our damn shoes off in the airport because a dude 24 years ago put a bomb in a shoe, and all it did was just melt the sole of the shoe. And still, think about that. To this day, you still got to take your damn shoes off. Millions of people every single day, every day. I bet you, since they implemented that rule, that TSA rule, you got to take your shoes off, I bet 30 billion people that have traveled in the United States in the last 24 years have had to take their damn shoes off because one dude put a bomb in his shoe. So that's what happens, right? You have an incident or a series of critical incidents. The place, the venue, the event has got to put in outrageous security measures, and it becomes annoying to everybody else. And I think this is This is the world that we are living in, where there's no discipline, because discipline is slavery. You can't tell people not to do that. You can't tell people this is wrong. You can't tell people there's a time and a place for everything. I know there's a bunch of people whose asses you want to kick, but you can't kick their ass at a funeral. Funerals get shot up. Used to be a time where someone said, you know what, I sure want to kick the ass of the person in that funeral, instead of maybe waiting, I don't know, till the next weekend to kick their ass. Let's just shoot up the funeral. And the president is not helping. He is basically telling everybody, and people are interpreting it in different ways, you can do whatever you want and still be powerful and still be successful and still be rich. You don't have to listen to the rules. The rule of law does not apply to this president. It doesn't, because there's nobody there to enforce it. So regular people are also thinking rules do not apply to them. And I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I'm going to take a break, come back, continue our little conversation. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that steak breath out of here. Brush your teeth.
It's it, bro. Like, what? Catch Jammin' with Juice
from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, July 10th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Northcott Neighborhood House, located at 2460 North 6th Street, and at Garden Homes Park, located at 2600 West Atkinson Avenue. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food and refreshments while supplies last, and the chance to make your next career move. Your success matters, and we are here for it. Brought to you by council members Andrea Pratt and Milele A. Coggs. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Maximus, and Amplifier.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Ready to join the fun? With Girl Scouts Extended Year Membership from Girl Scouts,
you can sign up by June 30th and get up to 18 months of adventure through September 30th, 2026.
Girls starting kindergarten or first grade in 2025 will also receive 3 Get Ready with Girl Scouts activity books,
featuring games, crafts, and stories the whole family will love, for free. Plus, you'll even get a special gift from the Girl Scouts. Join today and get ready to grow, explore, and shine with Girl Scouts.
Hey everybody, it's Sherwin Hughes, and I got to tell you about one of my absolute favorite places in the city, Mr. B's Privileged Lounge, located on the northwest side of Milwaukee at 8617 West Brown Deer Road. Mr. B's is your go-to destination for comfort food, an incredible drink menu, and live music that keeps the vibes going all night long. So whether you're winding down or if you want to turn up, Mr. B's has the flavor, the energy, and the atmosphere you've been looking for. Mr. B's Privileged Lounge, privileged to serve.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I really think that some of the harsher discipline that black children faced, which kept us in order, in line as kids, seen and not heard, and prepared us for the rigors of not just the world, but of white supremacy and the world. The world in and of itself is going to be a cruel and harsh place. And I think that we have tried to make the world softer. And now it's a cultural thing now, living your soft life, because the world is harsh. But that's a part of what you have to prepare children for, the unknowns and the unpredictability of the harshness of the world. But that's why if you have a plan, you have a path, you got a set of goals, and if you are undeterred, a lot of the harshness of the world can fall by the wayside because you are so incredibly motivated to accomplish your dreams. And I think because a lot of folks aren't ready for and cannot handle and never had to develop coping mechanisms to deal with stress, now we want to have the soft life. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have the soft life. But also, if you have parents, and this is a weird cultural phenomenon too, and my stupid ass generation did this, they helicopter parented. We were feral children. Generation X, my parents had me and then probably forgot about me until I was 17. Right? So we just kind of grew up on our own. We were latchkey kids. Both of our parents were in the workforce, first generation where that ever happened. So we just kind of did whatever the hell we wanted to do and made up our own rules. But the thing about Generation X is because so many of us were in that same situation with either parents being divorced and kids being home alone or both parents being in the workforce, we had a community. We were communal. We looked out for one another. We took care of one another, and we disciplined one another. Our peer pressure was serious. Our peer pressure was as negative as it was positive. We would tell each other not to fight as much as we would tell our friends to go and kick that person's ass. There's no community anymore because the internet has isolated people. There's kids that they got these damn video games with I sound old now. They play the video games with the headsets, and they play video games with people for 10, 15, 20 years, never met them before, and they'll literally call that person their damn best friend. That's insane to me. That really is insane. We did stuff in real life and in person, and we had real, actual community. We did stuff communally together. We went to malls together, went to the video game arcade together. We went to roller skating together, went to dances together, went to teen nightclubs together. We were together as a community. That community has eroded because everybody's become so isolated. And then when you isolate yourself on the internet, you basically are just surrounding yourself with people that think just like you. Same ideas, same hobbies, same plans, and anyone who does not fit into that, you just X them out of the group chat. But helicopter parenting essentially is you clear the way for your children, their obstacles, like the parent gets involved. And they don't let kids grow up. They don't tell their kids no. The teacher says something to the kid comes home crying, and mama goes and has a fit, beats up the damn teacher. The amount of times my parents said no to me, sometimes I wouldn't even ask. I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time. I know damn well they're not going to let me go to the mall. Let's not waste their time or mine. I won't even ask. Like their first inclination was to say no, basically. Hey, Ma, can I? I don't even care what it is. Go in there and read a book. Damn it. All right. But now, well, I shouldn't even say now. When some kids in my generation grew up with either non-existent parenting or harsh parenting, they decided when they had kids that their children were going to face no obstacles whatsoever. No one was going to tell their kids no. Their kids are going to be spoiled beyond belief. Spoiling children hurts them and it hurts the world that they go into because they exist thinking that everything is theirs, that nobody can tell them no, that nobody can hurt them, that nobody can disappoint them. And if you tell them what to do, or if you tell them that acting like this or behaving like this is wrong, they're going to call you an oppressor. Like even in relationships, like a man can't even tell a woman like how he feels and what behaviors that he finds reprehensible because she's a strong, independent woman and she ain't got to listen to nobody but her damn girlfriends. Like it's the weirdest thing ever. And I feel like the rest of the world is just burning and I'm just over here walking around with a fireproof suit on. I'm not falling for all this stuff. I still have levels of discipline and self-control, and I still have boundaries. And if you are going to interact with me, you're going to have to respect those. And I'm not even asking for a lot. Like, this shouldn't even be a foreign conversation. Thank you, Rick. It's very simple, right? I'm available during regular business hours, Monday through Friday. Anything outside of that is going to cost your ass extra. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Good Karma Brands would like to send out a big congratulations to Tori Lowe. Tori recently received a proclamation from both the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. So going forward, July 5th will now be recognized as Tori Lowe Day. Tori's activism, advocacy, and hard work makes Tori more than deserving of this recognition. Tori's family at 1017 The Truth celebrate Tori for always being about that action. And we know this is just the beginning, and there is so much more to come as a result of Tori's efforts and leadership. Congratulations again, Tori.
Truth Nation, it's me, your boy, Ben Jamon. Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. I will be speaking with Lynn Ketterhagen from the Lake Lawn Resort in Delavan. We will discuss the exciting offerings at the resort, including their 30 Days of Summer Special, car show, and lake cruise dinners. Again, that is the Business Spotlight this Thursday with Lake Lawn at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
At We Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at weenergies.com. We Energies, people you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns. It's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
I'm Angela Bassett. As a first responder on screen, I know what it means to act fast in an emergency. In real life, the same urgency can save lives, especially when it comes to a food allergy. For 33 million Americans, one bite can turn an ordinary meal into a life-threatening reaction. And too often, they don't have the one thing that could save them: epinephrine. But emergencies don't wait. And when a severe reaction happens, being prepared makes all the difference. Now, there's a needle-free option, a new way to carry epinephrine that makes it easier than ever to be ready. No needles, no hesitation. Because when the unexpected happens, the best thing you can do is be ready. Know the risk, know the options. Be ready to act. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready-to-act.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma Brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I hear a lot of people talking about Love Island. I don't even know what it is. I don't watch that stuff. You know what I do? For 2 hours a day, this is a part of my routine, because when I'm done with my show, it's a lot of day left, and I try and be personally productive with the amount of day that I have when my show is over. 2 hours every single night. I am studying, reading about, or watching videos on what AI does, what it can do, and how we can use it to our benefit. 2 hours every single night. Just because I'm no longer in school doesn't mean that I don't still appreciate the academic perspective of things. And because if it's supposed to be as frightening as it is, well, let me ride this damn wave and learn about it and see how we can use it and hopefully bring some benefits or get some benefits. Dr. Ken Harris is in the studio. He's adjusting his chair right now because I guess he's not used to sitting over there on that side. I'm going to let you get comfortable, Doc. I'm glad you could join me.
You should stop making assumptions.
That's the Dr. Ken I miss. So I had a brain wave, and I was like, you know what? I ain't talked to Doc in a while. Let me get Doc on the show. And this is something we're supposed to do, Dr. Ken. We're supposed to do crosstalks, right? We're supposed to...
This ain't crosstalk because our shows don't even touch each other.
Exactly, but then that's not fair because it would be harder for us, well, impossible for us to do a crosstalk because you're on in the afternoon. Right. I'm here in the morning.
And you don't answer your phone after 12 o'clock. You don't go on anybody's show after 12 o'clock. You don't say anything to anybody after 12 o'clock, and you don't put your head up after 12 o'clock unless you want something.
Not untrue.
Yeah. Okay.
But I have set a boundary for myself as a part-time person. Well, no, Doc, I can relate to you in this regard. We did, or I'd like to think that we did a lot of our hard work in our younger days. Hard work is a young man's game.
Doing all that.
Thank you. So we can relate. I want to talk to you because I know that the death of Officer Corder, it hit all of us very, very hard, and I know it had to hit you particularly hard as someone who knows what that job is like, especially in this city. And I would argue when you were on the force, Milwaukee may have been, in some aspects, worse, maybe even more violent. So I want to check in with you, see how you're doing.
That'll be very short.
Okay. How are you?
Great.
Okay. That's good. What wisdom do you impart to someone? Because we've always said, well, we need more African Americans to be cops. We want people from our community to join the force so they can protect the neighborhoods that they grew up in and they know the people. Mm-hmm. What do you say to a young African American man who is considering a career in law enforcement but might be a little bit deterred because of recent events?
Those events have been going on since they killed Jesus on the cross. I mean, at some point, it's the nature of the job. And those are the things that can happen. There are an inordinate amount of positive things that come from being in law enforcement that are just absolutely great that people skip because they don't like the police. So when you don't like the police, you trash them, you point out all the things they do wrong, right? Look at all these shootings we've had, 14, 15, 17, 20 out of 600,000 law enforcement officers in the city. Mm-hmm. I think that's a little better than the population of Milwaukee, but we don't want to look at it like that. They call 911, but they don't want you to come. They want you to only help when they need help and then leave everybody else alone. Why are you arresting my cousin? Why are you arresting my brother? But then when they get beat up, they call. And they call. Like it's... I wouldn't even call it a love-hate relationship because there's no love.
Can you help define or maybe redefine law enforcement presence? Are they there to arrest and detain, investigate a crime?
Yes. Serve and protect? Yes. To be
prevent
deterrent,
do police officers prevent crime? So if hiring
police officers do not prevent crime.
So hiring more police and putting them more on the streets does not make crime go away.
You're misunderstanding my answer. Police do not prevent crime because people don't want them to prevent crime. We've complained, we've cried, so now police are not proactive anymore. All the consent decrees have killed that. All the positiveness of stopping people before they committed crimes have killed that. They complained about getting stopped. They complained about, even though the Constitution gave them the right to do it, they complained about it. So now we don't do it anymore. Not we, they. And so now people get away when you look like you're about to do something or your actions are considered furtive or suspicious. They don't want us to bother them anymore. They want us to wait till after the crime is committed and then go. Well, it's kind of too late now. So now your crime rate's high. All those negative things happen. Or you can do like we used to do, is sit and watch people and stop them before they commit a crime but still charge them for attempt. Can't do that anymore because now you're picking on people.
Do you think that have we softened policing where it's less intervention, and as you said, that you have to wait until the crime is committed?
They have totally destroyed law enforcement, and the death of George Floyd was the catalyst that killed it. If people understood what happens in the court system, what happens in law enforcement, they might have a different idea of it. And you try to explain it, and people hide behind their politics. They hide behind, liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, all that, to block actual facts and reality. Bottom line is the move that, I hate to say it, the move that Derek Chauvin made in Minneapolis was legal based on the state of Minnesota law enforcement training. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what that. You can't change it. You could hate it. You could scream about it. You can march, but you can't change it. So now he dies. That is deliberate indifference. Once somebody's in custody and in handcuffs, you're supposed to get up, and he didn't. That's why he went to jail. Whether or not George Floyd had drugs on him or was high is completely irrelevant. Everybody in America had been taught, as soon as you get somebody in custody, there's a thing called positional asphyxiation. That's why they don't want babies laying on their stomach, because you're not strong enough so that if the weight stops you from being able to breathe, you suffocate and die. There you go. Do people want to hear that? Absolutely not. They want to believe what they want to believe. And so now you have a court system where they go in court and say, hey, we got it, guy died, that's unfortunate, but this is what you have. State law says, he's covered. Nope, can't have that anymore, and I want to get rid of limited immunity for law enforcement. And now there's this trickle down where you would have to almost be crazy.
So the reaction to George Floyd
it's just out of control.
It had an effect on law enforcement all over the place.
No, it had effect on people about law enforcement. Then it trickled to the Justice Department and trickled down to now it's having an effect.
Kind of stuck on a rock and a hard place because the summer is barely 2 weeks old, and we've seen, and we always lament about the violence and the fights and the shootings and things in the summertime. But if we want to be able to enjoy peaceful activities, law enforcement plays a role, security plays a role, etc. So when I mention something like, okay, community-oriented policing, and it depends on who you ask, they give you a different definition. I want to get your perspective on this because, listen, I'm the first one to admit that we have gotten soft with, so we call the criminal justice system racist as black people, and so now bail has been reduced. People are given deferred prosecution where there were times in which these people potentially could be violent. And no, because if we lock them up, then it's racist. And no, the bail is too high because they can't afford it.
Which is idiotic.
And last week, I went through a number of situations right here in Milwaukee where people committed other crimes leading up to and including homicide when they're out on bail on a charge that should have had them had them confined pre-trial. So because we got to figure this damn thing out, because now I'm starting to sound old like you, and I don't want to do stuff and I don't want to go places.
That's insulting.
No, it's actually a compliment.
But it's still insulting.
Hey, I'm not insulting you, Doc.
I'm telling you what you did. You can't tell me how I feel.
Here we go. I was waiting for this to happen a little later.
Well, no, I tell you how I feel about something and you offend me. And then you say, I didn't offend you. Like, really?
I love being older, because we can have that kind of exchange and laugh it off like two old men. Like the judges on the Muppet Show.
Right.
I want to be those guys and just laugh at everything.
Go get something to eat.
Let me, yeah, that's true. Let's talk to Sherman, and then I want to he used to train coppers, so you have a whole different perspective. What is community-oriented policing from the perspective of someone who used to actually train cops? But first, let's talk to Sherman. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Doing all right. What's on your mind?
This is a comment and a question for Dr. Ken. I don't think that I've been in prison before. I just want to remind everybody that. So I don't think that people have an issue with police per se. I think that people have an issue with aggressive police. That when they show up on the scene, they act like they're God. And when you say preventing crime, meaning stop and frisk, and you say looking like they're suspicious.
That's not what I meant, but go ahead.
That may not be what you meant, but that's what you said.
Did I say stop
correct?
and frisk? No, I did not.
You said to prevent crime.
No, I didn't. I didn't say stop and frisk. Go ahead.
Okay. So, but you wanted to be legal though. You said since it was constitutional. So anyway, that being said, is the other thing. When the police pulls up, I've only had very few interactions with police where they've been positive.
And how many is that?
The majority, a whole lot.
Give me a number.
A whole lot.
Give me a number.
We say more than 30 times.
Okay.
So we'll say 3 out of the 30 has been a positive. But the majority of the time, they always come with this aggression and all the rest of this stuff. Sure. And it's cool. I'm with that. But at a time when you want to, I asked this question 1,000 times. If you take a dog and you put him in a cage, and you tease that dog, you tease that dog, you tease that dog, you kick in the cage.
Here? Is there a question about law enforcement in here?
The question is this: why do police think they're God? And then when something happens, and your question.
Are we gonna let them finish?
Your question.
Go ahead, Sherman.
Your question, the question to Dr. Ken is this: why do you want praise and glory and to be glorified for doing your job?
Okay,
all right. You shouldn't want. Go ahead.
No, we'll let that be your question. Why do praising and glorifying for being God?
No.
I don't know.
Doing his job.
So basically, cops should not get a pat on the back for doing their job, or told they're doing.
I shouldn't get a pat on the back for being a father.
But I'm not talking about you, and you should get a pat on the back for being a father. That's the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. Telling somebody that their job, they should never get praise or told they're doing a good job. Just because you don't like the police, that's fine. But what you don't get
never one time did I say that.
Oh, okay. Then I'm taking into account your statements and your every single time I hear from you, you tell me you went to prison and you trashed the police. But okay, I guess you're right.
All right, thank you. I don't know what happened there.
So basically, if I remember his question, you're not glorifying anybody. The reason you should do it. Let me go back to his father comment. You thank a person for doing the job as a father, because it's his kids, not yours. And you don't have to do it. They're doing it. So you would say, hey, great job. Law enforcement, you don't want to step up. You don't want to get killed. You don't want to get shot at. You don't want to stop the bad person, right? But yet when the police make one mistake, you castigate all of them.
So let me throw this in here, and you know this in working in the profession, in the different capacities that you did. Wonderful, awesome, incredible human beings that you met, Doc. They could have been good at anything that they tried, but they were cops and they were good cops. There was also human beings I'm sure you came across, like bad people. Like anything they would have done, they would have been bad at. They also happen to be police officers too. The unfortunate thing is those bad people can tarnish the badge in ways that the public does not forget.
And that means that the public has a very narrow view and is biased against the police. Because if you can see the bad in them, but then have the audacity to stand up and say, treat all black people the same, all the criminals don't reflect us, but then you do the same thing to the police, that makes you a hypocrite.
Doesn't it also seem like those who, and I'm trying not to stereotype or generalize, those who are law-abiding, and I'm not going to look at, in this area, this suburb, or this city, people that are much more law-abiding are much more thankful.
Absolutely.
And then people that have sinister intentions or, like got
police,
dope in their pocket.
Or have issues with authority, which is fine. Now, here's the thing. When the cops show up, and I know you got to take a break. When the cops show up aggressive, that's their job, to take control of a scene. Then, when everything flattens out and I know what's going on and who's who and what's what, then you bring it down a notch. But you're never going to get the police rolling up, with a bouquet of flowers and saying, hey, we don't get invited to like parties and bar mitzvahs and right. We get invited to the man with a gun, like you did in Milwaukee, like you did in Sherwood. So I don't understand what people want from the police, because it's not our job. If you would literally stop committing crime or stop your family members from committing crime, you actually wouldn't need the police.
So we are going to take a break.
Okay.
But when we come back, I want to, how do you deal with, because there was cops that you work with, you just like, oh, this person's a jerk, right? There had to, because, hell, those people you work with now, do you say the same thing about, right?
There are people that thought I was a jerk.
Oh, no way. All right, I want to pause.
Don't be condescending now. Come on now.
Look, there's people that I'm getting told every other comment how much of a jerk I am. It kind of comes along with the territory. So we'll take a break, come back, grab a couple of telephone calls. The Dr. Ken Harris is here. I missed you, Doc. I ain't talked to you. I haven't argued with you in months. Starting to feel neglected and getting some withdrawals. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey everybody, it's Melanie Ricks. You all know I love supporting a local team. That's why I'm excited to tell you about UW Credit Union. They've been serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. And when I was in school, they helped me learn how to plan for my future and make my money grow. Even now, they're still always there for me when I have questions, and they'll be there for you too. So stop by any of their 13 Milwaukee area branches or visit uwcu.org to become a UW Credit Union member today, like me, federally insured by NCUA.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, July 10th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Northcott Neighborhood House, located at 2460 North 6th Street, and at Garden Homes Park, located at 2600 West Atkinson Avenue. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food and refreshments while supplies last, and the chance to make your next career move. Your success matters, and we are here for it. Brought to you by council members Andrea Pratt and Malele A. Coggs. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Maximus, and Amplifier.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In studio, the always effervescent
What
Dr.
have you got
Ken
me
Harris.
into?
No, I just wanted to hear from you, man. You're always fun to talk to, and we don't really have any
You're never
overlap.
up in the afternoon to come on my shows. You know. Then there's
Well, the last time I think I was on your show, I come to find out that I shouldn't have. So this is a long time ago. I was in the market hall when it was still relatively new, or us moving here was new, and I was giving somebody a tour. And I was here with some friends for happy hour. And of course, you got to bring your friends by the window here because we broadcast essentially in a window to the market hall. And you saw me out there, you waved me in. I'm not going to say no to a good time. Problem is, I had been imbibing a little bit in happy hour, and I was like, well, I'm not going to put my drink down. So I'm going to bring it with me in the studio, which apparently is frowned. Whatever. I didn't know. I didn't read that in the handbook.
that's right. You're not as old as me, so you don't remember you had to actually read and get licensed to be on the radio at the time. Y'all just walk in now.
Well, I was just basically a guest off of the street because at noon, I don't really work here no more. I work starting the next day.
You still can't have anything like that on the radio.
Yeah, well, nobody could see it. That was back before we had YouTube. If we had YouTube, or did we have YouTube? I don't think we had it yet because we had these cameras in here for like a year before we broadcast.
But technically, you still can.
I guess I probably shouldn't have admitted that. All right, I do want to get your perspective on community-oriented policing.
Yes.
I find myself trying to mediate, Doc, because I know that we need law enforcement. I also know and appreciate the kinds of threats that they are under that most people don't conceptualize. We got to figure something out because I'm not liking what I am seeing in the city, and it's making Milwaukee even more unlivable because of the unnecessary crime. The police have a role to play, but I know it's a very prickly relationship. But before we do that, let's talk to... Hello, Bob.
Hello, Dr. Ken and Sherwin. I think you ought to give it up, Sherwin, because the only individual that has the ability to handle Dr. Ken is DT. That's all the time I've listened to him.
That's not true. I'll say that publicly. That's not true. Come on. That's mean.
You just like Sherman, Dr. Ken. When you're checkmated, you find a way to move, and you can't move when you're checkmated.
What I do with most people, Bob, is you just let it go on. Because sometimes you can respond in a way that would actually cause more damage than it will understanding. So you move on. And I do that with a lot of people, like you.
Well, my comment is,
yes, sir.
all the times I've listened to you, DT is the only one that can handle you.
Okay.
That's the only one I've seen.
See that work?
Talk to you later.
Okay.
All right.
Nice to talk to you.
All right.
He's trying to dust up something.
Okay. Let's talk to the caller. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Well, Dr. Ken, I've been putting very well, and the performance-enhancing clubs have helped me immensely with my golf game, I want to say first. I think there's a confusion of the dislike of police in general and people hating police brutality and abuse of power in any instance. For example, if a doctor is reckless and ruins a legacy of a family, because Gianna Floyd and her children will never have their grandfather because the world saw this man murdered on television. So the insults of him using drugs and resisting when he didn't, those are the things that people hate. I have generations of police and other law enforcement people in my family, so I love them. I have friends I've grown up with who I've played sports with most of my life who are law enforcement. So even when I'm speaking to them, even they denounce that type of behavior.
Of course.
And it should not be a broad brush on any occupation that everybody is bad. And we don't have to say that everybody is bad to make sure or work toward weeding out people like that. And there are ways to do it. And so I think that's the part that gets missed in these type of conversations. And I hope that we do better at doing that. And I think you guys talking about it together is a great way of doing it. A great start. You should do it. You should do it more often, like Sherwin said. And Denise does handle you very well. She really helped you out with learning about Jasmine Crockett because you were really
I know exactly about Jasmine Crockett. There are arguments that you
well, your statement sounded when you said she had no
let
impact.
Me finish. You
that was
talking,
actually
so
incorrect, and she corrected you.
Let me
go back in the archive.
No, she didn't correct me. She just gave additional information. I don't argue certain things because certain things aren't worth arguing. Why dust something
and
up?
she was more informed.
Why don't you listen? Well, you made a statement that was incorrect. So I'm trying to help you out so that you can be corrected. Is that okay? If not, I can just move on.
Come on.
So bottom line is I don't argue with everybody. I don't get into deeper conversations. This isn't a negative because I recognize who she is. She's a black woman, reputation, all those things. So it's important to uphold that because sometimes we can say things that are taken by other people outside the conversation as attacking or mean and all that. So in many cases, I take a step back, depending on who the person is. I don't do that with Sherwin, but I take a step back. Not to be negative or be soft, but to recognize the totality of the circumstances, something most people don't do.
Thank you, the caller, for the call.
Thank you.
All right, then.
Thank you.
I also think that people they're calling my show that you're here because they think that, so when they call your show and they have the interactions they have with you, they think that if they call on my show that I'm going to defend them, and I am not. So,
well, it's not about defense. It's about holding people to the standard that you expect me to be held to, but then you don't have to do it.
Here's what I need to do.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Here's a change I need to make. I clearly need to listen to you and Denise more often to see how she handles you, because apparently...
Well, first of all, it's insulting when you say a person handles you, because I'm not a child and I'm not infirmed. So while people say that, I'm trying to let them know it's not about being handled. It's about recognizing when to speak up and when not to.
Well, you probably also have more grace with your co-host than you would with a caller. So that's etiquette.
Absolutely.
All right, community-oriented policing.
And I've been with other hosts who have said things to me, denigrated me, trashed me. I let it go. Why is that?
On the air?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
There's an etiquette. Like if I was on your show, I mean, it's your show, right? You drive it. You are the conductor of sorts. All right. Community-oriented policing. You gave me an interesting jewel when we were off air. Doesn't matter.
No, my business.
If the community wants something different, if they change, if the pendulum swings where the community gets softer and they want lower bail and deferred prosecution agreements, that doesn't necessarily change policing, right?
No,
they're there for law enforcement, and it doesn't matter the public sentiment.
Right.
They're almost this variable that doesn't change, and if the public gets softer, it makes policing look even harsher, right?
Correct.
So where, your opinion, in 2 minutes, is the compromise between a public that changes on a whim and law enforcement that stays relatively consistent?
There's no compromise, because the Constitution doesn't compromise, because state statutes don't compromise, city ordinances don't compromise, and county ordinances don't. Like, at some point, people need to understand law enforcement is just that. We don't make the law, the legislature does. We don't prosecute, the justice part does. We don't do that. So at some point, people don't understand. You go to court. That's outside of us. If you didn't commit the crime and leave any evidence, guess what? You wouldn't be in the system.
Well, there's also discretion, too. So technically...
No, there's not a
Well,
lot of
I'm going to give you an example. If the posted speed limit is... And yes, they can use discretion. I think that's why there's gray area.
That's not a crime.
It's still against state law to go 45 in a 30, right? And a cop can pull me up like, oh, Sherwin, just slow down next time. I should be getting... It's still, I broke the law, right? State law. State law says this is the speed limit.
Traffic is a different beast. What I would suggest you do is understand the differences in certain statutes, traffic versus that. So traffic is a civil matter until it becomes a crime. If you injure or kill somebody, then it becomes criminal.
I could litter. In some cases, I think littering could be a $500 fine. A cop could say, hey, man, don't be an idiot. Pick it up and throw it away. Where state law says I technically can be given a fine, but there's sometimes...
But that's not discretion. What's the cop not doing his job? Discretion is given in the law. It's written into the law, not something you just decide to do.
Because the law is black and white, I think that there are a lot of really minor infractions that people may commit, especially if a child, where that police officer, we take any other infraction where the cop would be like, hey, young man or young woman, you know, I could XYZ, I could haul your ass in, I could give you a ticket, but here, let me just say, don't do this again, et cetera,
That's the cop not doing their job.
So you're saying discretion. They should be able to they enforce the law no matter what it is.
Let me give you the example of discretion.
Yes, please.
You're speeding.
Yeah.
You're doing 50 and a 40.
Yeah.
I pull you over. Mm-hmm. I know that if you go, no, you're doing 20, 28 and a 40. I know that if you go 25 miles an hour or higher than the posted speed, you're considered a reckless driver. And therefore, you can be arrested for a crime, reckless driving. Discretion says, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to write you for 15 over. That way, you still get the ticket, but you don't get hammered and arrested as a criminal. That's discretion.
So still operating within the confines of the law, but not giving the maximum penalty.
Correct.
Okay. Let's take a break. Come back. What else I want to ask you? How was your weekend? How's your 4th of July? We'll talk about that on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Ever had a question about local services, neighborhood events, civic engagement, or ways to get more involved in the community and just didn't know who to ask? That is where 1MKE comes in. 1MKE is a nonpartisan coalition helping Milwaukee residents to find trusted information and easy opportunities to get civically engaged. Want to plug into a neighborhood event, find community services, give back through volunteering? 1MKE is here to help. Learn more and get involved and fill out their community feedback survey at 1mke.org. That is 1mke.org. We are 1MKE.
Need health care but don't have insurance? City on the Hills Health Clinic offers free medical care, mental health counseling, and dental hygiene services for uninsured and underinsured Milwaukee residents. They're on a mission to end generational poverty in all its forms, and you can be a beneficiary of it. If you've got a heart for Milwaukee and qualify as a Milwaukee resident, take advantage of City on the Hills Health Clinic today. Just visit cityonthehillmke.org. That's cityonthehillmke.org. City on the Hill, hope, healing, and health for our city. Visit City on the Hill today.
What's poppin', Truth Nation? It's your girl Noni Juice with Tamara Castle from Associated Bank, and this is Making Your Money Work. I am so glad to be joined by Tamara Castle, AVP CRA Mortgage Loan Officer at Associated Bank. Today we will be talking more about first-time homebuyers and giving them some tips and some help. So the very first question I want to ask you is, I want to buy a home, right?
Yes.
Who do I contact first?
So you'll contact me through the website, so Associated Bank /TCastle. And of course, you can always give me a call, 262-888-3135. Text, leave a voicemail. We'll get you guys going.
All right, so that's step one.
Yes.
Now, this might not be step two, but it's definitely a good question that I have. Does Associated Bank have any assistance for first-time home buyers?
Yes, we do. So Associated Bank has different angles on assisting first-time buyers. The first one is we have a gift. So it's not a grant. So it's literally coming from our president to give first-time home buyers assistance with the down payment and closing costs. That's $3,000. So we can use that for, obviously, the down payment and closing costs. You can use it to buy down the rate. And pretty much every customer I have uses those funds for their first time. Because, again, sometimes it's hard to save. It's something that people use as a barrier. So we came up with, how can we assist customers? We really can't assist with credit per se, but we can assist with funds. And we don't want funds to stop someone from buying their first house. So we also have another grant called Down Payment Plus. That's $8,000. That can be also layered on top of our $3,000. So a lot of customers get those funds too. We do partner with Housing Resources, which has more funds. So they take care of the home buying education for us, and then we do the mortgage loan, and we connect all those grants together.
This has been Making Your Money Work, brought to you by Associated Bank.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Doc, how often should people call the police? Do you call everything you see, every minor, and for everything?
Because here's
that doesn't get burdensome? It doesn't tax our resources?
No, here's why. First of all, nobody cares if the police are bothered by it. You can call, you go. The problem is this. People don't call. They don't understand that they're the one call, the one little piece of evidence that tips it over to, now we can catch people. Now we can lock the person up. Now we can figure out the pattern and stop the criminal. But the problem is we don't know it, and you don't know it unless you call them. And so cops will get mad. Oh, you guys telling people to call? Yes, every little thing. When you start to see the pattern, you go, oh, wait a minute. Here's what's happening. Patterns like most burglaries occur with neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're bringing something into your house, cut the box up, put it in the recycle bin.
Put your 65-inch TV
box outside and
garbage.
Somebody come pick it up, and then all of a sudden your house is burglarized. Really? So,
is there, or should there be, if there isn't, a level of customer service that's a part of the training, because you're interacting with people a lot of times on the worst day of their life.
Right.
So is there some, I guess, sensitivity training maybe that might not be the best term, where you have to be a level of, you got to enforce the law. Obviously, it's a chaotic situation, but still being mindful that someone may have been hurt and it might be emotional.
There always is.
Are police trained to deal with volatile situations? Because now we're saying, well, we can't call the cops in certain situations. We got to bring in a social worker because cops don't know how to show sensitivity to other people's emotions. Your thoughts on that?
But that's not true. See, part of the issue is that every time somebody gets mad about something a police officer does, they want to answer it with training. Now, we can only be trained so much, and then you just have to be aware, because I can't know it verbatim because the book is this thick. So at some point, I need to be cognizant of it, or at least know where to find what I need to do. But that type of training has been going on since I came on April 12, 1993. I have no idea what people are looking at. I have no idea what people are talking about. If they would just go over the law enforcement training that's in the state of Wisconsin and in the Milwaukee Police Department, they're overtrained. It's too much. And then the expectation is too high. Nobody can function at that. You lose something. Like, it's just bizarre.
How much of it is instinct and experience too, right? So, a rookie.
So let me ask you a question. Is how you're talking on the radio today based on how you felt when you text me on Saturday? And all the stuff that happened up until now and that point when you got on the air? Are you a product of that experience? Yes. Then why can't the police be? Woke up, kid sick, spouse, injured, like all these things going on in my life. But all of a sudden, when you put a uniform on and a badge, you're supposed to be perfect. It's idiotic. There's no room for give and take, but the first thing you ask from the police is give and take.
So any profession, and not to be in a talk radio, well, there might be some overlap and some similarities being a cop, because we got to do some policing of the other people that call and text. I think in the beginning of my career, I adhered more to what I thought the rules of radio were, and being by the book and being regimented. And then as time goes on, so the rules can operate as like a foundation, but then as you grow, your experience begins to kind of rule your output and your performance. I'd imagine
and
policing.
Your recognition.
Because if you've been to, like, your third DV call as a rookie, one thing. Your 300th on year 5 is totally another. So at some point, instinct kicks in. Well, with a level of experience, don't you look at it differently?
Incorrect. No.
So you're saying a rookie responds to a DV the same way a vet does?
You're missing my point.
I'm totally missing it.
When you get to 300, you can handle it better, but it's just as dangerous as the third.
I'm not dismissing the danger,
problem.
But you may have seen so many other different types.
I'm going to be more so regimented on 300 than I was on 3. Does that make sense?
No, actually does.
Because when things go bad, I have to be able to follow the rules, and that's what covers me with whatever limited immunity we have. People want to take that away. You shouldn't have immunity. We should be able to sue you. Can you imagine the lawsuit you would have to put up with every single day from somebody just getting mad and filing a frivolous lawsuit? Who would do the job if they said, hey, by the way, if you make an honest mistake, we're going to take your house? Who would do that?
There was a former cop. He used a nickname when he called, and I really wish I knew who he was. He said, so he was a police officer, knew you, of course, was on the force for 25 plus. He said absolutely unequivocally the most dangerous calls he went on were DVs, and he said it was like 60% of his calls over his career.
Yes.
Why are they so and the one in Shorewood, right, I think was a DV. Why are they so much more volatile and dangerous than just like a guy with a gun, which also can result in, cops getting killed too?
Sex, drugs, and alcohol. In most shootings and most deaths, one of the 3 are there. So when people get mad, they get emotional. When they get emotional with somebody they're sleeping with, it goes south. Add drugs or alcohol.
Oh, sure.
And you got a volatile thing. So now you got a DV, and now people are mad. They want to shoot, and now you got beat. You got 2 black eyes and a broken nose and a cracked orbital, right? You can't see. And then the cops put your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend, your wife in handcuffs. And the other one responds emotionally and now attacks you for doing what they got called to do. Sometimes they'll come back and pull a gun. Most dangerous one is when you say, hey, actor's no longer on the scene, and I'm talking to the victim. That's when you need backup. Because what happens
you don't know where they might
circle
be.
back around,
Sure.
and cops have been killed because
they see the victim talking to the police.
Right, the law enforcement officer in District 6 on late shift shot 6 times because the person came back.
What do we do about those situations?
Either you let them handle it the way they're supposed to handle it, but then people complain, and so they change their tactics. And sometimes it can get an officer injured or killed. And the public doesn't care. They just want what they want.
I want to ask you this question. It's my own.
That's
curiosity.
like people asking you. I didn't mean to insult you, but
no, I'm not going to insult you. I got to figure out how to not be offensive.
They'll just be offensive. I'm used to it.
No, not you. But do women make good cops?
Yes.
Okay. There it is. That's all I needed.
Yes.
Is their approach different?
It's not that their approach is different. It rounds out the totality of dealing with people.
Okay.
There are some instances where women are really great at it. There's some instances where they're not. There's some instances where men are great at it. Some instances they're not. Black, white, Spanish, Asian, male. It just depends on the situation. Everyone is different. So this cookie cutter thing people have in their brain, it works with rules and stuff because what? Because we're in the executive branch. I saw on here, Al said, inconsistencies and errors in the county Brady list of officers with integrity issues raises questions about transparency in criminal proceedings. That's great, but that ain't got nothing to do with the police.
Well, you know what? You want to talk to them?
No. The police didn't put it together. The police didn't create it. The police didn't. They just said, and people are subjective, too, when they say it. Well, we think this person has issues. Well, you got to prove it.
Al, don't. Hold on now, Al. Just, if you got a question, I want you to ask it. If you got a comment, I want you to comment, because I know how y'all two be.
Well, what I was going to say is, I think it should be okay to sue for a police officer's burial plot and his house and his kids' college tuition, because there's been many cases when police potentially lied when they didn't have to.
Okay.
So if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide.
Okay.
Don't you feel that's right, keeping it 100?
No.
If you potentially lie,
no.
I should be able to, see, then that's the problem, and that's why we have no equality. There's 2 sets of standards for blacks and whites. Like when you specifically said, you was like, well,
how do it come about white
some
issue
come
about the police?
All right, I got to police this conversation now, Al. Did you want to call?
Black people stop coming. That's that ninja sugar, honey, iced tea. Have a good day.
Oh, all right then. Okay.
I have no idea what we just talked about.
I don't know. Okay. That I just know that when he calls, sometimes he's a handful for me, but he really sometimes is a handful for you. Al from Sherman Park, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
You call that a handful?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. I had a question for Dr. Ken, because I think a lot of the public doesn't understand. When the police pull up to the scene, that really is not the time to argue your case, and it's really not the time for the public to all shout at you and try to tell you what's going on. What is your perspective when you arrive on a scene and you're trying to figure out what's actually happened?
It differs from place to place, but the bottom line is the officer's job upon arrival is to make sure the scene is safe. If it's not safe, you're not going to get police service, period. Full stop, end of story. You just saw it in Sherwood. You just saw it in Milwaukee with an officer being shot, the other one killed. If the scene's not safe, everything that you get called to is completely and totally irrelevant. And so in order to do that, you have to calm people down. You have to bypass people. You have to get to what the root of what the issue is. And you can't do it in chaos. So you have to calm the chaos. That's when people say, oh, cops are being mean. And they're not being mean. They're taking control of the call.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people are yelling. They want to tell the police what's going on, but they don't understand. The police can't listen to everyone at the same time. And they got to get their bearings, and they're not being mean to you.
Listen, there's enough of them there that they're hearing what you're saying, but they're also looking at everything else as well. So what's going to happen is they know the call they're going to. They know the information they got given. And if there's something you're saying that triggers that, then they're going to come talk to you. If you have a description or a car or something, like And they have to do that in, 15 to 30 seconds to figure out what the heck's going on. But then people want to armchair quarterback them for saying how they should have been perfect when they only have 15 to 30 seconds to get it done.
Thank you, Al. Appreciate your call.
Yeah, I just want to realize the police aren't being mean when they tell you, please be quiet, step back. All right, have a good day.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if they're going to tell people to be quiet. I mean, you got a right to speak up and scream and holler.
He might be referring to, it was an incident at the lakefront where a young man was being apprehended, and here comes the girlfriend. Right. Get off my man. You can't do that. Right. And he gave a loud verbal command. Get back. Get back. Right. She didn't. She got shoved, and now everybody, of course, you got to sue him. No,
she can't sue him.
Even other men that were on the scene, especially the ones that were holding the camera, were saying, no, y'all really do need to get back, because even they know better that you have to, you got to step back. It's almost like.
Now, did she get arrested for obstructing?
I don't think so.
She should have.
Not that. It was on. Well, here's the thing. The two police officers that were there, vastly outnumbered. There was a crowd of people, so did they have the ability to apprehend those two suspects? And then, now maybe if cops came later, if the sheriff's department came later, they did. I'm sure they did. Whether she got arrested or not, I'm not sure. There's a lot of psychology in the job, obviously. It's like it's a jigsaw puzzle, but you don't know all the pieces.
Correct.
Because everybody's lying.
Correct.
When you get there, first thing the guilty person's going to do is say they didn't do it. Or
not necessarily. You'll be surprised. I think you'd be surprised.
But don't people try to lie first? Like, the police find something on you.
You ready?
That's not mine. But it was in your pocket.
You ready? Everybody lies.
Not on the Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM in studio. My colleague, my friend, Dr. Ken Harris, who likes to talk to people in a very nice way. He's a very nice guy. No, you are a nice guy. That's why you're here.
So condescending.
No. This is the best we've gotten along in some time.
Why do you keep negating how I feel about something? You do that a lot.
Sorry, Doc. When we come back, I'll apologize. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, unfortunately, violence is on the rise in Milwaukee, and this is a problem which impacts us all. Please join me and the Truth team on Saturday, July 12th from 9 a.m. to noon for our third annual Walk Against Violence, supported by 1MKE. Enough is enough. Now it's time to bring an end to senseless violence in our community. To join our Walk Against Violence on Saturday, July 12th, visit truthwalkagainstviolence.com to sign up today.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl DT from The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris. Now listen, at a critical time, through the Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, Old National Bank provided the resources I needed to sustain my business. Now the process had its challenges, but I was supported, and it was also an invaluable learning experience for future ventures. I am so grateful for the support that helped my business thrive. Old National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all loans subject to approval.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. The Pella Experience Center in Brookfield lets you see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of windows and door options from 7 different Pella lines side by side. A friendly expert can go over Pella's endless possibilities for all price ranges, from colors to hardware to custom designs, ensuring you get the best possible look for your home. home. Pella truly believes that quality windows and doors don't have to be expensive. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the U.S., you get the look you want at a price you can afford. Stop by soon, because if you order by July 31st, you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Certain restrictions apply. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. It's off Blue Mound Road, kitty corner to Cops. Or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You want to talk about politics?
No. So I got a comment about Lady B.
Hold on, Doc. We mean just no.
Dr. Ken loves to argue about any and everything. And that's not true. That's not true. And the reason it's not true is because what I do, actually what that is not allowing people to, one, take advantage of me, talk down to me. But then on the flip side, do I get offended by it? No, I don't get offended by it. I expect to be challenged just like you expect to be challenged. But then don't come challenge me and then not expect anything back. That's a ridiculous way. Number two, people have discussions. They go back and forth and they talk over each other and they laugh and they do all that stuff. That's what the truth is. The truth is not a, good morning, Sherwin, how are you? I am fine. How are you? I am great. But it's not that.
It could be.
It's not going to be. It'll never be. With you? Oh my gosh, no.
Never. So my tolerance varies. It depends on a bunch of factors, But somebody told me something, or I read it somewhere, and it's about, because I hate when people talk over me, because you let them talk, you'll be gracious and let them get their point out, and then as soon as you start explaining, they think that they can still talk over you, or if you begin to prove them wrong, then they want to battle you back and they want to distract you. And so what I heard or read, and it stuck with me, people talk over you only because they think they can. And that's what makes it even more offensive. If they think they can, they will, and that's where I lose it.
Well, they disagree, and you're supposed to kiss up to everything they say. For instance, Al said, nobody wants to take advantage of you. They just call you on your BS.
Well, maybe. No.
But then you never tell me what it is.
Oh.
You never say, here's why. You give generalities and nice little quotes and little colloquialisms and all kind of garbage like that. But where's the actual substance of the comment? Where's the outcome? Hey, we got to fix this, and people don't do this. So then what should we do? Give me point A, B, C, D. These are the things we need to do. Nobody does that. Well, not nobody. Al doesn't do that.
On your show,
yes, sir.
What is one of the most just like hottest topics? Because each show has got different, things that they discuss, different levels of expertise with different hosts. Like, what is one topic where people just phone lines light up? They're texting you. Like, what is it that one thing or those topics really get people going?
There's really not one of those. It really depends on how I feel and what my opening is about.
Okay.
1 week I went 3-4 straight days of phones blowing up for just things that were just completely and totally innocuous that were on the top of my head, and I just went, and it just blew up. So much so that they were so insignificant, I don't even remember them. Like, it was that I just happened to say something off the top of my head about men or women or something, and poof. Or political. Oh, I remember one where people kept calling me conservative. And I said, yes. They said, you're a Republican. I said, no. Because they don't understand the difference between the two. They don't understand the reasoning behind it. They've been wired into one political point of view. And so I always tell people, the problem with black people is not that they have different political points of views. Yeah, they don't respect the others. And when we don't respect, we don't have compromise. We don't have support. We don't have anything, and we lose it, and we're fragmented. But on the other side, you ever see white people argue and fight? They do it publicly, but all these businesses get built, all these neighborhoods get built, all these things in the neighborhood are created, and I don't see them fighting each other. We're the only ones doing that.
No, they do. They may fight differently. An example, especially the higher up the ladder you go.
Oh, absolutely.
Elon Musk and Donald Trump had it was almost like two girlfriends that just were mad they were dating the same guy.
That's a normal relationship.
Is it?
Yeah, people fight. They get to know each other. Sometimes Sherwin is cool and sometimes he ain't.
No, I'm always cool.
Nope.
All conservatives are not Republicans, but I bet most Republicans are probably going to consider themselves conservative.
Sure.
You can be a conservative Democrat, because I support school choice, much to the disappointment of a lot of people on the left. Oh, my God, I've been crucified.
I ain't never seen nobody turn the vitriol you receive. It's just crazy.
Well, Doc, I got to
take a break.
Yeah. How long are you here for? You want to hang out for a while?
No, I'll give you another half hour or so.
Hold on, man. Nobody say no half hour. I'm just seeing if you
then I'm done. I'm not negotiating.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, are you looking for a fun opportunity to showcase your clothing line, restaurant, nonprofit organization, food truck, or small business? Well, look no further than doing it at our Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School. We are currently accepting vendor applications for our festival, and you don't want to miss out on this great opportunity to promote your business and be part of all the fun. To be a vendor at Truth Family Fest, visit truthfamilyfest.com and sign up today.
Milwaukee, it's time to turn the TV off and turn your speakers up so you can hear what the future leaders of the world have to say. Truth Nation, I'm proud to present the 8 Block, powered by City on the Hill and 1017 The Truth, hosted by me, your boy, Ben Jamon. Every other Saturday at 9 a.m., 8 Milwaukee teams will share stories and laughs that will speak truth to what matters most in their lives.
I'm here to discover different levels about myself.
I'm really here to get my name out there and have a different perspective on life.
So tap in every other Saturday at 9 a.m. Truth Nation, welcome to the 8 Block.
Hey everybody, it's Melanie Ricks. You all know I love supporting a local team. That's why I'm excited to tell you about UW Credit Union. They've been serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. And when I was in school, they helped me learn how to plan for my future and make my money grow. Even now, they're still always there for me when I have questions, and they'll be there for you too. So stop by any of their 13 Milwaukee area branches or visit uwcu.org to become a UW Credit Union member today, like me. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was a song that myself and Common wrote. Two brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk. You are listening to the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. He's here still. Dr. Ken Harris. You can listen to him between 4 and 6 p.m.
What you want?
The Truth with Dr. Ken Harris. Is that the name of your show? The Truth
in the Afternoon.
Truth in the Afternoon.
Dr. Ken Harris.
All right. He's on from 4 until 6. He and I don't do much overlap because I'm long gone by the time his show starts. So
I've seen you like twice in the entire time we've been down here when I was coming in and you were going out. Twice.
Well, you sometimes do things with other stations and you're
Correct.
here at varying times of the day, but our overlap is few and far between. You wanted to get you on. Hadn't had you on.
Notice I said a half hour and he was like, what? Nah, you ain't giving me on.
Well, the time does go quickly.
We got like 5 minutes.
I think the formats of our shows are different. I know a lot of other hosts, they play their openings at the top of every hour. I don't, because it takes up too much damn time and I get sick of hearing my opening. And sometimes I just want to get right back to it. Especially if I leave an hour with a topic that I want to keep going, sometimes my open, and plus my open is, I don't know, once a day is all they get. It's fantastic.
Decrepit.
Well, here's the other thing.
I think it's great. I think it's phenomenal.
I had to make it myself because the opening that they
Still waiting on a new one.
Made for me.
Still waiting on a new one after 2 years.
You're waiting on a new open?
Waiting.
Doc, here's what I would say.
Hey, powers up. I know. I'm going to break down and just do it myself.
And you will be so happy with it because even if you thoroughly communicate what you want, people aren't going to be able to get it. I've taken much more control over my show just because I micromanage my work, and it's too hard and not worth it to micromanage somebody else. Right. Like I play my own music. And
You're going to be on the Truth Summit in the fall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. That was good. You won an award for that. Congratulations.
Yes, I did. First place. Best program.
I didn't want to. Never mind. But I get the love and admiration of my wonderful community, and that is award for me enough.
You got juice, baby.
What's the thing that you love the most about being a talk radio host in the city of Milwaukee?
That people argue with me and say how they feel and give them an opportunity to be. People think I don't like Al, or people think Al doesn't like me, but that's actually not true. I respect Al in a way that other people get mad and fire off all these texts and, oh my gosh, I can't believe you. I said, we've gone. I've lived. I wasn't born and raised here. I've lived here for 32 years. This is the first time Black people have actually had an opportunity to speak and let their words not be denigrated, but challenged so that other people, and when I hear from every show, and I hear everybody on every show where somebody says, I learned something today I didn't know. I've never heard that on any other radio station in Milwaukee. That was Black. I've never heard, wow, that was great. The only other person that I know in the history of this city that has done that was Eric Vaughn. Because he had the Man Show.
Right.
And I don't know if you used to go. It was like 500 people in the studio.
That's right.
And we just talked. And it was real talk. And that's what I think the truth is.
He opened up his airwaves to, let's say, non-traditional guests, but still important people that are members of this community, that are part of the fabric of Milwaukee. Like, you know what? Come on in, fellas, and I'll give you some time on the microphone. You can talk about who you are, what you're doing, what you love, what you hate.
Right.
I don't know if we can do that anymore just because everything is so much more intense and so much more volatile.
Yes.
I don't know if you know what happened to me last week, that a stranger walked her into the studio.
That's
and then she ended up coming to my house.
That's what I heard.
That evening. So we can't be as open.
Did you call the police?
I did not.
That's on you.
I know it is. But I had to, when I analyzed the situation, I don't think it was necessary.
What was necessary?
To call the police.
No, I don't think it was necessary.
Now, if she comes back.
Right there.
Well, the other thing is we have the evidence of what she said when she was on my show, because she did walk in here and sit right down wearing this really weird wig. So I made content out of it. And I think because we allowed her to do that she felt comfortable enough to come to my damn house.
Mm-hmm.
But she said some things when she was here that is sufficient evidence if she does something like this again. But I just don't think that we can be as open with our community and just let people in. And,
correct. There's a security thing that people need to understand when people come at you in the street, right? One, I don't know what you're referencing. So when you come at me and say, when you said,
they sure do.
We're talking just me. 10 hours a week for 4.5 years. 3 hours a week, 3 hours a day for 4.5 years. I don't remember what I said at 10:30 and you trying to get me 10/30 of 2023. Like, no, we're not. Yeah.
We say things in the course of our job that people hear and they never forget it.
Correct.
And we are just already on to the next topic. And so they think that because it has such an impact on them, that we will remember that too. And I do appreciate talking to people because I get a different perspective on what I say from folks that, I don't really often hear from. But yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Or, oh, hey, Sherwin, good to see you again. I don't know who you. Hey, Sherwin, remember
because you get it 15, 20 times a day. Multiply that by a week or 7 days, and that's a lot of people, to the point where some places I don't go anymore.
I do appreciate the time that people take out of their day and on their schedule to listen to us, because people could be doing anything. Sometimes I wonder, why are you listening to me? What went wrong in your life? But I appreciate it because they could be doing anything else. So that's something I certainly, love about the job.
I think people should just come over and say hello.
Yeah.
The thing that freaks me out is the standing off with the smile and the look. Is that Sherwin? Is that Dr. Ken? Just come over and say hello.
You never know what they're planning and plotting.
Right. Just come over and say hello. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. I listened to you. It's great. Or I hate your guts. It's terrible, and here's why. I'm good. But it's that distance, and I really love to talk to people and give them the opportunity to say what they need to say, but yet expect to be challenged, because I expect to be challenged.
You're also nicer in person. I think some people that don't know you, they'll hear, like, if they tune into your show at any point in time between 4 and 6, ain't no telling what you might be saying, who you're yelling at, or whatever the case may be. I think some folks that don't actually know you think that you may be like that in person, and you're not.
I'm like nothing like that.
And I think that's why they might get, they're a little standoffish, because they hear some of the discussions that you may have, and they think that you're a mean guy. You're actually not. You're just doing your job and dealing with some of these folks. But people call you and try to press you. I've noticed that they mess with you.
Right.
Well, they try to mess with me too.
But it's also entertainment. We just gonna hear have some fun and argue. That's why when people call or text and trash Al, I defend him, because he's exercising his right just like you are. You don't get to trash somebody because you disagree with them. Tell me why you disagree. But no, we're not doing the trash talk and that's out. You just can't.
He's a polarizing person. He can be.
I don't know if he's polarizing.
Oh, people love him and they hate him. Nobody's like, oh, Al is okay. It's either
I think he's okay.
Al is great, or
Al's just being Al. That's one sliver of his personality. Just like radio is 2 hours of my 24-hour day. You're actually going to hold me to that? That makes no sense.
That's the other thing. People that only know of us what they hear while we're working thinks that's who we are as complete people.
Correct.
A lot of what I say is who I am, but I'm a little bit more complicated than some of these topics that I bring up. And a lot of it is just responding to the crap that I see going on in this city, and the unnecessary violence and the fights and, the public, events that we have in a really, really beautiful city that's trying really, really hard to be, worthy of being on the international stage. We just have this stupidity, like the night market, which is one of my favorite events.
At Summerfest?
Oh, every night. It's insane. Crazy. Okay, question for you. You were on the force. You're called to a scene. Juveniles are fighting. Mm-hmm. What do you do? Do you separate them? Do you talk to them? Do you tell them to go home?
You're gonna get way more information. You're gonna get descriptions. You're gonna get location. You're gonna get all those things, because that's gonna dictate who goes, and how big the crowd is. But at some point, they're gonna end it. They're gonna, like, you're not gonna win with the police. Like, you're not going to. They have too many resources. They have too many people, and a radio is a wonderful thing. 700 feet per second. Press a button. I can get more resources than you any day. So at some point, when they show up, is the scene safe? What's the call? Where's the information I need? Who am I looking for? Just stop fighting with the police. Once they show up, stop. Because it's not going to end well. It's the only group of people in Milwaukee, other than criminals, that take guns to a call. It's not going to end well. If you fight, it's not going to end well. So recognize that.
Do you think that, do young people need more like resources and social services, or boom, juvenile detention?
They need more civic training in school because school has dropped the ball as it relates to teaching kids how to respect authority and law, how to have the values and the I hate to say it, the ethics that they need in order to function as an adult in the city.
Maybe because I grew up in a different time and place, but we'd have the community police officer come in and talk to us, and he basically was like warning and or threatening us, but doing it in an age-appropriate way. But also at the same time, if I saw a police officer when I was young,
familiarity.
You go up to him, they give you a baseball card. I did not fear them at all, and also there was a relationship with them because they would come to our school, and a lot of times it was, hey, kids, be mindful of this, because back then kids were getting abducted because there was no cell phones, no GPS. So they come in our schools and have conversations with us, but then I would feel comfortable in approaching them and talking to them if I just saw them out on the street, and they'd give you some baseball cards. And I don't know how we ever returned to that. And maybe it's silly of me to think that we can return to things that worked when the world was a totally different place. I just know that the solutions that we are coming up with are not working, and it's starting to harm Milwaukee, and we don't need more harm to the reputation of this city.
I think people are missing the fact, right? We only think one group evolves. Everybody's evolved. The police, the fire department, the city, the workers, all the citizens. And so I think we forget that in that evolution, it wasn't equal, right? And so some people move faster, some people move slower. Some things didn't transfer to kids that should have transferred, right? And so love of God, love of the city, love of the country, people ain't feeling it anymore. Not recognizing that the reason they can do that is because of that. But then you cut off your nose to spite your face. And now you're complaining about something, and now it's like, okay, well, if you don't like it, find somewhere to go.
I titled today's show, Discipline is Slavery, because when you tell a person, hey, you can't do that, that's wrong, that's stupid, that's going to get your ass kicked, that's going to get you in trouble, that person is so offended that you were trying to tell them, or you're telling them that what they're doing is wrong or unacceptable, then it feels like oppression. And I think that we have just allowed an entire culture to develop. I can't tell you that there's not 47 genders, and if I say that there's not 47 genders, then I'm transphobic and I'm homophobic and I'm all these other things. You can't tell somebody.
As if I hate you for that.
The truth about really anything if that truth is going to hurt them. And so you have a bunch of people that are never told no. They're never told things that hurt their feelings, even though telling them no and telling them things that may temporarily hurt their feelings may save their life, their family, their community, and their sanity. You just can't do it. And what I referred to earlier is if parents are not disciplining their children, they're going to cuss a cop out. They're going to be disrespectful to authority, because the one authority figure in which young people are supposed to respect, if they don't respect their parents and their grandparents that are raising them, then they will shoot at a cop. And I think that we have just kind of evolved in a really, really horrible way. And plus our politics are extremely volatile. I didn't bring politics up with you today, even though the one big, beautiful bill's got some stuff in it. Now, some of the stuff I want people to be aware of, some of it, while it sounds bad, it won't take into effect until the Democrats get control. I'm not debating you at all. There's just he signed it on the 4th of July, like he said. I gave Trump credit. The bill had
I'm not discussing all that.
You don't have to. The bill had so many like complicated things in it.
Yes, it did.
And I was like, there's no way.
I read through all of it.
There's no way this is going to get signed by July 4th, because the debate is going to be intense, and it really fundamentally changes some stuff. Well, Trump called it.
Some reconciliation has to take place. Once people start. Once they start screaming, they're gonna make some changes to the bill. They have to.
There are, I wouldn't call them never Trumpers, but Republicans that, and maybe they fear their reelection chances if they too closely align themselves with Trump. They could be like, if 2 or 3 Republicans in the House were like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to pause on this, I'm going to wait on this, they could have hurt Trump in a way that Democrats certainly could have, just by stalling the bill. Because when Trump made it clear, I want to sign this on my desk by July 4th, any Republican that was anti-Trump or wanted to push back on Trump just could have stalled and delayed and pushed that date off. But Trump still got it done, so I give the man credit. Obama never could have said, I'm going to sign this bill on August 15th, come hell or high water, there would have been Democrats.
Is that Obama or the mayor?
Interchange. Okay. Interchangeable. Right. There would have been some Democrats that said, we're not going to let the president tell us when he's going to sign the bill. And this is what is both problematic, but also something I got to respect about Trump.
Now, the thing is, if it was a white Democrat, he would have been able to sign it on the 4th.
You think so?
And I think that's the issue. I think, no. If the president was a Democrat and the president said, I want this bill and I want to sign it on the 4th, they would have let him sign it. If Kamala Harris said she wanted to do that, they would have figured out a reason why. Well, I don't think it'll work. And so that's which leads me to whole DEI and all that other. That's what disturbs me, that there's this assumption now that if you're black and you got a job, it was a DEI job, and that automatically means you're not qualified, which is idiotic. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, there's some people that think that any black person that gets any job stolen from a white person.
Or because they're white.
Yeah, and sometimes white people, and I hate to have to tell them this, you know what, I think they need to hear it. This goes to, discipline of slavery. They just hate to hear it from me. Some white people aren't good at stuff, and we can't hire you because you suck.
Yes, they are. They're perfect. You didn't know that? They can do anything.
They can?
Yes. You didn't know that?
Tell one to come host a Black Talk radio show.
Thank you.
See if they can do that.
Thank you.
I got to take a break, Doc. I want to ask you about how come cops and firefighters don't like each other?
I'll talk about that off the air.
Is that real? I thought it was just.
I'll talk to you about that off the air. Bye, y'all.
All right. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate you being here.
Yep.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, Monday through Friday, 4 until 6 p.m. And then Sundays, you're on TMJ. 7 to 9 with Denise Thomas, where Denise apparently handles you.
And then rebroadcast. On
all the
Sunday
time.
night, on Monday night, right here on 101.7 The Truth from 6 to 8.
And Truth in the Afternoon gets rebroadcast 75 times.
Yep. I'm only 2 hours, so I'm the odd man out. I just get bounced all over the place. Sort of like the morning show. You should listen. Great things going on.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate you being here. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
Is this Eastside Double R?
Speaking.
Hey, what's happening then? Tell the family I said what's happening then.
Hey, y'all hear him?
What would you do with $5,000?
Man, I'm about to give back to the hood, Might do a little block party or something like that, but we're going shopping first.
Stay tuned into 101.7 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 101.7thetruth.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing Coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing Coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axhousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe Coaches are here to help.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, our Beyond the Mic Happy Hour Mixer series is always a hit, and we're bringing it back this summer. Join our Truth team for Beyond the Mic with Sherwin Hughes this Friday, July 11th from 5 until 7 p.m. at Mr. B's Lounge, located at 8617 West Brown Deer Road. There'll be delicious cocktails, incredible food, great conversations. We're going to give away stays to the Chula Vista Resort, and I come to find out, like, there's it's like a $900 package we're giving away for the Chula Vista, so you can win that and so much more. We're looking forward to seeing you this Friday at Mr. B's from 5 until 7 p.m. And look at that, in the studio, I lose a Dr. Ken and I gain a Craig Berry. Mr. Craig Berry, the proprietor of Mr. B's Privilege Lounge. It's a privilege to have you in studio, sir. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Sherwin?
I'm doing all right. You know, trying to keep it together with all the stuff that's going on in our city. In the business that you are in and have been in for a very long time, and people that I know that work in your business, they all look to you because you have done this so well. Dare I say, you might be the perfect liquor serving establishment owner. When you see these different trends happening in our city, because you've seen all of it, you've seen fights and you've seen worse than that. Does it make you panic at all, Craig? Because, you know, some summers the streets are a little bit more volatile than other summers, and they come to you and they want to have some drinks and things could get a little bit out of hand. Like, how do you deal with it, and does that ever keep you up at night?
That's the same question my wife asked me. It's, you know, let me just tell you a little bit about me. My mom and dad met at his bar, and obviously, you know what they did to get me here. So if you cut me, I'm going to bleed Hennessy, and I don't even drink it. So it's in me. This is what I do. It just came naturally. Then I'm a product of MPS, so I'm very cultured in what's going on in our community. So a lot of these issues that happen in and around the bars around Milwaukee, you know, I'm able to navigate it and advise other bar owners because I've seen a lot of different things go on, you know, when people are drinking. And, you know, I've been doing this, Sherwin. This is my 25th year. I opened up the Matrix in June of 2000. And
that was a legendary establishment.
Yeah, I mean, it was big. It was 30,000 square feet. And we average about 3,000 people every Saturday. So I've seen it. I've seen a lot. You know, I had Matrix, Club Escape, 414, KISS, Mr. B's, The Click. I had a club in Arizona. So I've seen a lot of things, and I guess it conditioned me to deal with a lot of different scenarios. Overall, it's been okay. Don't get me wrong. It's not Beirut owning a club, but you just have to know how to deal with the different walks of life when they're drinking.
With the years of experience that you have as an operator and just the evolution of the nightclub scene, because it's a lot different. Like what used to happen and how people would enjoy themselves at the Matrix is a lot different than how they may enjoy themselves at Mr. B's. Not to mention, like, you're serving the kids, in some cases the grandkids, right, of people that went to your clubs, you know, that went to the Matrix. Now their grandchildren are hanging out at Mr. B's. How did Mr. B's like be the evolution of all the stuff that you have learned about the business, and how does Mr. B's like execute all the experience you have in the business?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because now I'm starting to run into this other generation, this third generation, because if I opened up my first club in 2000, if your parents met there, you're probably old enough to be at my clubs now.
Absolutely.
Which would be Legends or Mr. B's. So every now and then I run into these young adults that say, hey, man, you know my parents. my grandparents, and then they pull out the picture, and it's crazy how I remember these people, and every now and then I run into the parents, and some of them say I owe them child support because they met their baby mom at my club. So it's crazy. It's generation. I see a lot. So Mr. B's was something we did in July of 3 years ago, so July of 2022. And we made it 30 and up we initially started at 30 and up for everybody, but of course, people started challenging me with legal threats and all of that because of their age.
So 30 was too old. So younger than 30 got mad at you because they couldn't come in.
Yes.
But there's a reason for that, though, too.
Listen, man, the young people, they think different than us, Sherwin. So we call ourselves having some 30 and up, grown and sexy, and it started off great. I mean, it was received well, still received well. So what we do, we lowered it to 25 by our choice, meaning we still pick and choose who we let in that's under 30.
Did you notice a difference by going down that 5 years, going from 30 to 25?
Well, it's not like we had any problems. It was just that we had to be more open-minded because not everybody under 30 is bad. Not everybody over 25 is good. So my security pride themselves in filtering out the idiots. Every now and then, yes, you're going to have an argument. That just come with the business. It's just a law of averages. But overall, we've been problem-free, for the last 3 years, and we pride ourselves in that.
And I want to give you credit where credit is due because I have been to Mr. B's more times than I can count, and I have never witnessed any kind of a volatile situation, and I want to give you your flowers because you operate an establishment that quite honestly has less drama than Summerfest, but that's neither here nor there. So when you first took me through Mr. B's, you just acquired it, and I'm trying to figure out your vision because it was a Chinese restaurant. There was water on the floor. Like, oh, Sherwin, over here, we're going to have this. And then on this side, we're going to have this. And we're going to have live music. And then lo and behold, it all came together. So to be in this business, and also thank you for hosting our Beyond the Mic this year and my greatest Beyond the Mic last year. We appreciate that. You got to have a lot of vision because you have to see entertainment in blank spaces where other people can't see it. So as part of what you do as an operator, being a visionary?
Yeah, vision, I do consult for a lot of other clubs across the country where, I've helped people bring their vision, to actual tangible operations. And it's I'm affordable, so I don't really tax them because I do it more I do it because I have a passion about it. And I have tons of friends in the business, and I call around for guidance too, and because there's other people that's been doing it longer than me or better than me in other parts of the country. So it's my phone don't stop ringing from other bar owners that want advice and guiding them through these different remodels or challenges they're having. I mean, it's bars on Water Street right now that are really going through it with the young people. Then it's tough, when you got, a couple dozen cops on horseback and portable jails and you still cannot stop some of the stuff that's going on. Makes you wonder, what's the solution? And then I've been asked, hey, why don't you come put a club downtown? The North Side.
Yeah, Craig.
Hey, man, the North Side been good to me.
Fair enough.
I'm just being honest. I mean, I can come downtown. I could, but again, it's going to be on my terms when I do it. I don't know if the city's going to be ready for it because I'm the 800-pound gorilla when it comes to nightclubs. I'm the Walmart in their mind. That's what I've been told. That when I do it on such a large scale that it does intimidate some of the politicians. It does because they think that when I open up clubs, it's going to bring down hundreds and hundreds of people to whatever that building is or that property is. And it's probably some truth to that. But, again, the North Side has been great to me. I mean, shout out to the North Side Aldermans. They've been really having my back over the years because they know I'm a good operator. And, I don't, I'm totally transparent. They want to see my cameras. They want to see my ID scanner. I mean, I give them all of that. And some of the troublemakers know, hey, I'm the first to testify if you do something crazy in my parking lot, in my building. I'm going to give up the cameras. This is my livelihood. And my security understand that everyone that comes through your facility, their life is in your hands. So, and all it takes is one idiot for something bad to happen. We see that all the time when we watch the news.
If people have never been to Mr. B's before, and there's always first-timers, and a lot of the impetus of why I do Beyond the Mic is I want to give folks that want to do stuff. They don't know where to go. They may not want to go downtown. They want to try different places. How would you describe Mr. B's to someone who has never been there before?
It's basically it's 11,000 square foot space now. I mean, to put it in context, it's big enough.
Huge.
Yeah.
Pretty much half the size of the studio we have here. We got 2 floors, so yeah.
Well, we've done everything from host. We just had the Blues Festival this past 2 weekends in our parking lot under the tent. We had about 10,000 people in and out over the weekends, and it was great turnout. We've on the inside, we've hosted the Black Excellence Awards. Shout out Victor Barnett, Running Rebels. They do it every year with us, and we can seat about 400 people. We can seat. We've done a slew of live bands and live entertainment and repasses, and just we've done. We're very flexible and very versatile in what we can do there. We used to do live bands every Friday, and I mean that was very successful. But again, we toned it down because again, our own legends, so I could only be one place at one time. So
you got to tell people about the food. I remember one night I came in, you asked me if I was hungry. I said, "No, Craig, I am not hungry. I'm fine." Till you brought out the damn chicken wings, and I had to eat.
Sherwin had bones flying everywhere.
Well, hold on, though. This is the thing. Craig, you make a nice wing out there, Mr. B's. You got the sauced wings and the not sauced wing. You got to tell people about your food. You're real modest. You're a food guy. You always have delicious menu items, so don't understate how good the food is that people will be able to experience this Friday at Beyond the Mic and Mr. B's from 5 until 7 p.m. Talk about your love of food and wanting to offer that. Pretty much, you serve food all night, right?
Yes. I take the customer approach when I design my menu. I always put myself in the seat of the customer. When I'm designing a menu, okay, I want my fries hot. I want them seasoned. I want my catfish cooked right. I don't want my wings undercooked. I want them cooked perfect. I want a selection of sauces. I want them clean. I want to see clean environment, clean bathrooms. It's just I've always put myself in the eyes of the customers when I'm designing something. And it's worked out. I mean, our catfish is, I put it up against anybody's because it's actual catfish for one. And it's a homemade recipe that we use. And I've been spied on by other restaurateurs trying to get my recipes, and it's been protected, and it's worked out well. But I tell you what, Sherwin, when you book our events, when you book our place for an event like a repast or wedding reception, I cook it personally myself most of the time, and it's been a home run. I'm not bragging; it's just facts.
No, when they taste the food, they'll know. You also pride yourself on being a place for the community. I remember when you had I think there was 8 or 9 people that were running in an aldermanic primary for the 9th aldermanic district. And I moderated that candidate forum, which, for those of you listening, if there are 9 people running for a political office, you don't want to moderate that because it is literally like herding cats. But
you did a great job.
I tried, Craig. Odell Ball wanted to fight me, because he kept standing up. I'm the moderator. And then his wife came in, the sheriff, and I was like, oh, no, she's going to arrest me. But no, it was... I'm glad that I did it because I got to see the different perspectives of the candidates, but also there was a crowd there, and those were interested and informed citizens and voters, and you open your place up to the community as needed. And I'm very, very glad that you did that because a lot of operators like yourself would not want politicians or candidates in their establishment, but you made Mr. B's available for that. So you're not just a restaurant, a bar, a nightclub. You also are a community space as well.
Oh, yeah. I pride myself in giving back. I mean, without the community, it wouldn't be any businesses. So we've done tons of repasses for people that couldn't afford it. We've donated to tons of nonprofit organizations. I mean, we don't do it for the tax write-off. We do it because it's the right thing to do for your own community. Again, I'm a product of NPS. Shout out Custer High School. We call it Obama High now. Sherwin, I tell people this. They could have named any school in this city after our first black president, but they chose mine. So, people want to talk about NPS and their issues, and they have them, but I'm a product of it, and I pride myself in that.
Well, you're one of NPS best. I mean, it's a few others too, but you got to rank up there with the best.
I appreciate it, Sherwin.
And we appreciate you, and thank you for hosting our Beyond the Mic, and appreciate you a lot. Love going to Mr. B's. I feel like I'm home every time I'm there. And Craig is the only person that can make me eat chicken wings when I'm not hungry because they're just that good. So
yeah, I really twisted your arm.
You did, man. I was full when I got there.
Yeah, you got I think you got, what is it, spicy garlic parmesan? What did you get? Hot honey? What did you get?
Both, I think. Yeah. You brought an assortment out.
Yeah, I did. I remember that now. And you weren't hungry, huh? Sure.
Always good to see you, my man, and we'll see you on Friday.
Oh,
yes.
August 16th, I'm having my 25-year anniversary of being in the business. Promotions coming out soon. I'll let you know. It's going to be big.
I know it's going to be big.
It's going to be some celebrities come. People that was part of my journey along the way will be playing a part in it.
All right. Hopefully I'll meet my future ex-wife there, too. It's a lot of ex-wives in making at Mr. B's. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, too. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl DT from The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris. Now listen, at a critical time, through the Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, Old National Bank provided the resources I needed to sustain my business. Now the process had its challenges, but I was supported, and it was also an invaluable learning experience for future ventures. I am so grateful for the support that helped my business thrive. Old National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all loans subject to approval.
Join Outreach on Thursday, July 31st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to learn how prenatal care, routine well child visits, and habits that empower parents for healthy pregnancy. Call 414-727-6320 to register today.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Ben Jamon with his truth.
Truth Nation and all the juicy jammers out there, can I be honest? Honest about what? Honest about me. Honest about following your dreams. Matthew 16, verse 26. What does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? I didn't know what I was getting into when my mother birthed me. I never imagined walking out of a job would lead me here. Back in 2017, I was working third shift at a grocery store, hating it. I knew I had to make a change. One day I walked out. No plan, just a leap of faith. 2 months later, I got a job with V100, and it was on and popping. I met Wiz Khalifa, Jerry Springer, Ice Cube, and Charlamagne the God. But in 2020, everything changed. COVID hit, and I was furloughed. But it gave me clarity. Clarity on who I was, who my real friends were, and what I truly wanted. After 8 months, I got an opportunity with 101.7 The Truth. I got the chance to speak on air, and things took off. I started as a producer, and now I'm the host of Jamming with Juice. I've spoken with the White House, NBA All-Stars, and even killed an unreleased track with one of your favorite rappers. Through it all, I remained vulnerable with you, Truth Nation, especially after losing my dad. But here's the truth. It's not just about following your dreams. It's about preparing for them. What you want to happen is going to happen. But if you're not ready for it, you have to watch it pass you by. As a great prophet once said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So if it wasn't for the divine timing of the George Floyd assassination, the time that I took for myself to become greater, or the vision of the CEO of our company, 101.7 The Truth, or myself wouldn't be here. So I'll call it divine timing. I can tell you to follow your dreams, but it's much better if you prepare for them.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jamon and Carrie Mahone weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, our Beyond the Mic Happy Hour Mixer series is just a few days away. Join us at Mr. B's Privilege Lounge this Friday, July 11th from 5 until 7 p.m. We're going to be giving away stays to the Chula Vista Resort in the Dells. Delicious cocktails, incredible food, of course, great conversations will all be a part of the experience. Beyond the Mic essentially is an idea that I came up with so that I can have face-to-face interactions with people that make this job the greatest job on earth, the people that listen and support me. And I've been doing radio in this town for a long time, and it's because of you that I love it so much, and that's my motivation to want to do it. So I was like, you know what, let's all get together, have some food, have us a little cocktail or two on a Friday after a long work week, and just chop it up and build community. So that is the whole impetus behind Beyond the Mic. I'm also very specific about the locations that I select. They have to be places where the food is good, the service is good, because I know how we love to complain about poor service. So I'm very strategic in the locations that I select. So we'll be at Mr. B's this Friday. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Truth Nation, we have seen the headlines and the unfortunate stories of violence in our community. It is time we come together to make a difference and take a stand against senseless violence occurring every day. Join our third annual Truth Walk Against Violence, led by our very own Tori Lowe, Saturday, July 12th. So the day after our Beyond the Mic, take your hungover self to walk with Tori Lowe on Saturday, July 12th from Victory Over Violence Park, down MLK Drive, and then ending in our studios here at the 3rd Street Market Hall. Visit truthwalkagainstviolence.com. That is truthwalkagainstviolence.com to sign up for our Walk Against Violence, supported by 1MKE on Saturday, July 12th from 9 a.m. till noon. And thank you for our food sponsor, Cousin Subs. So all the people that go and sign up, you get some Cousin Subs at the end of the Walk Against the Violence, because walking against violence works up an appetite. All right. You know, I enjoyed having Dr. Ken here. Of course, I love having Craig here, but I've known Craig for more years than I can count. In fact, you know, I was thinking about buying a bar. Did you guys know that? I was real close. And of course, I'm going to consult with my friend Craig Berry. Craig was honest with me and actually talked me out of it, because I'm not cut out for that lifestyle. Like, you have to be a particular kind of person and personality to deal with drunk people. It's fun and games when people are drunk and laughing and happy, but that's not everybody. I can't, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that a lot of wannabe operators don't see. It's the behind the scenes stuff that can make that lifestyle and that vocation very, very difficult. Because I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, I know what a good bar or lounge should have, what they should offer. I know location is important, and I know the style and the aesthetic. I wanted to create a place or have a place that I could not only call my own, but would be the kind of place that I would want to go. It's a lot easier in theory than in practice, but after a lot of careful consideration, I opted not to move forward with getting my own liquor serving establishment, and I think that was a good decision, because a bunch of y'all will come into my place and think you could drink for free, dropping my name at the door. Like Ricky will probably show up in my spot like, yeah, I'm Sherwin producer. Let me in. I'm drinking all night on Sherwin's tab. No, you're not. You're not drinking on my tab, Ricky. You're paying me back. You owe me for the tab you drank, Ricky. I want my money. I
don't need to use your name or your tab.
I want my chips and my dip going to my spot, talking about you drinking on my tab.
What's your spot?
I'm saying if I was to open one.
Oh, I'm definitely using your name. I'm definitely drinking your tab.
Don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
That's disrespectful.
It's going to happen.
No, it ain't.
I'm going to run it up.
You're a racist.
I'm going to run it up.
Don't do that. I wouldn't do that to you.
T is for turning up.
Why? No. Rick, you're going to experience your first Beyond the Mic.
I am. Yeah. I'm very excited to see everybody, all the voices behind the faces. I'm very excited to see, and you guys are also excited to see me as well.
Are you sure they're excited to see you? All right. No one looks like they sound. So the people that call, I'm trying to think if I've ever met Al from Sherman Park. No, Eastside Corey. Eastside Corey looks like Sammy Davis Jr. Al doesn't look anything like he sounds, not even close. In fact, I didn't even believe it was Al until I heard his voice. But it's always a good time getting folks together. I'm gonna need y'all to behave though. Don't act a fool. Don't get out to Mr. B's and get to clowning, getting to taking your shirts off and stuff, because I know some of y'all like to be shirtless. And I need to do better too, because since I took my shirt off on the air, y'all think you can run around and take your shirts off. Y'all can't do that. I can take my shirt off at work. I don't recommend that you do that. I can do things you all can't do. So don't get to Mr. B's with your tatas hanging out. And when I say tatas hanging out, I'm talking about the fellas, because some of y'all are chesty. I'm going to take a break.
Chesty.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Good Karma Brands would like to send out a big congratulations to Tori Lowe. Tori recently received a proclamation from both the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. So going forward, July 5th will now be recognized as Tori Lowe Day. Tori's activism, advocacy, and hard work makes Tori more than deserving of this recognition. Tori's family at 1017 The Truth celebrate Tori for always being about that action. And we know this is just the beginning, and there is so much more to come as a result of Tori's efforts and leadership. Congratulations again, Tori.
Ride the wave to clean at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for a winning shine. Become a monthly member and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 per day. Plus, skip the wait in the fast lane and enjoy unbeatable amenities like free vacuums and tire air. Visit any of their convenient locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com. Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, July 10th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Northcott Neighborhood House, located at 2460 North 6th Street, and at Garden Homes Park, located at 2600 West Atkinson Avenue. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food and refreshments while supplies last, and the chance to make your next career move. Your success matters, and we are here for it. Brought to you by council members Andrea Pratt and Malele A. Coggs. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Maximus, and Amplifier.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Got me messed up, Rick. You know what I mean? I think it's sweet. It ain't sweet. Beyond the Mic is going to be sweet, though. Love going out to Mr. B's.
Who are you looking forward to conversing with?
The bartender. He's got some. You ever see his bartenders out there? Holy smokes.
Yes, I'm very familiar with his bartenders.
Sheesh. I mean, they give the service. They're very attentive. So Craig he's a lot like us, that he's a stickler for service, and he also is very correct that he's got a customer-centered experience. So, you know, the things that we complain about, because when we go out and spend our hard-earned money, you know, we want to be taken care of. Like, that is instilled in all of his staff. I've never once gotten bad service there. Sometimes when I go, I'm hanging out with him, and obviously if you're hanging out with the proprietor, the servers are going to treat you different, but I go in sometimes by myself. And they don't know that I know Craig, and I just go and I kick back, and I still get the same high level of service. So that's why I selected Mr. Beast. So here's the other thing about Beyond the Mic that I want to tell you guys. I think this is the only one I'm doing. So this is it. I'm not doing it in August. I'm not doing it in September. This is going to be an annual thing. So once doing it every month is too much. It's way too much. It's too much planning. It's too much legwork. It's too much. So come to this one, or you may never come to one ever again. I'm not necessarily retiring the idea, but what I would almost rather do, because I know that our shows create communities. Like Ben and Carrie have a community. Tori Lowe has a community that listens to his show. Kyle has a community. Dr. Ken has a community. I think that each of us should do, to the extent my colleagues are comfortable doing so, should bring their communities together to strengthen the relationship between the hosts, the producers, and the listeners. And Beyond the Mic doesn't have to be every single month. That's just too much. So we're going to do one. It's an annual event now, once a year. I'll let you know about what we're going to do for 2026. But doing it once a month, no. So if you want to experience it, you better come out on this Friday at Mr. B's. All right, Miss Shawn says, no, I'm going to be out of town Friday. So here's what y'all can do. So those of you that are participants in this program, the YouTube chatters in particular, because it's anywhere between 80 and 110 of y'all at any one time, you all should get together. You all, Peanut Gallery, should pick a location and a time where you all want to get together and break bread with one another and have a cocktail and kick back, because a real sense of community has been created around this show, and for that I'm forever thankful and grateful. You guys decide maybe next month where you all want to go, and I'll just join y'all there. Y'all just invite me, right? So instead of it being a 1017 The Truth event, I'd rather it be much more organic, where if you all, Reggie and LaRon and Miss Shawn and who else here? Mao the Elephant and Gigi and Zay and Vanessa and JD the Poet. If you guys, and of course Curly Q, who we love very much, we love the Curly Q, and Al, if you guys decide that you want to get together over the next few weekends or the next month, I would rather you guys do that, and I'll just join you all. Because Beyond the Mic is yours. It's your event where you all can get together and see what everybody looks like. And yes, there's going to be a line of people to meet Al. There's always a line of people. So I think that's how we're going to proceed, because I want the event to remain organic, and I think that we're losing some of that organic nature of the event. So we're doing Friday, Mr. B's, and then after that, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. So you guys pick a spot. You know what I heard? So one of our favorite restaurants here in the 3rd Street Market Hall, and between the 1017 The Truth staff, like our producers and hosts, we've eaten at every restaurant out here. Dairyland was one of our favorite restaurants. They had excellent food. Ben Jamon, even I think he had a deal with them or something. They loved him and he loved them right back. But they are closing. Well, they closed. They left already. But they're opening up an actual standalone restaurant. I think it's where Schneider's used to be. Y'all know where Schneider's is? Schneider's is on the 76th and the Lisbons right there. I think that's where they're going. I kind of want to go check it out because I think that it's going to be a bar too. So maybe we go there. But you guys plan where you all want to go. You guys get together on a happy hour and just invite Sherwin. You know what's crazy? The people that chat amongst each other, because sometimes you guys talk amongst each other. What I say be damned. You don't even care what I'm talking about. You guys are having your own conversations amongst one another in the YouTube chat. So I want you all to plan a happy hour where everybody in the YouTube chat gets together in real life. But here's what's crazy. They would plan something, Rick, and they wouldn't even invite me probably. Like the chatters on YouTube would be, oh, hey, everybody, we're going to go. And I'd have to read about it because y'all probably wouldn't even invite me. Oh, you know what? That's fine. That's how I get treated. Y'all go ahead and plan your own event. Rick, what did you learn today?
I learned listening to Sherwin's show about
nothing because you're stalling.
I was gonna say I learned a lot about police, how police is policing, and how they think and operate. What did you learn today, Sherwin?
That if Dr. Ken would have pulled me over when he was on the force.
Oh, you're going to jail.
Oh, already. He would have beat me first.
You going to jail.
Come here.
You going down.
Is there a problem? Yeah, there's a problem. Get out of the vehicle. But I didn't do it. Shut up. Tase, 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 tase. Tase, 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 tase. Mace, 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 mace. Tase, 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 tase. Cuff, cuff, cuff. Tase, tase, tase. Get in the car. You're going. I got a 215-31. Need backup. I got a 45-19, 38-99. He's got a gun. Now, let me leave Doc alone. I'm glad he came. I got a brainwave, and I just was motivated to invite Doc on my show. I've known him for a very, very long time. In fact, a lot of men in this community looked up to him for many, many years. And we didn't know he had some of the views that he had until he got a damn microphone in front of his face. But he had always been someone that we could go to and talk to about damn near anything, because he's seen some very difficult situations in the years that he's been in this city. And I remember him studying for his PhD. He'd be at that Starbucks at Midtown. So, Doc, I do appreciate you coming by. And also thank you to Craig Berry, who is hosting our probably only Beyond the Mic of 2025. Thanks for listening. Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace is up next.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The one call, that's all Gruber Cash